Hello, everybody.
Whoa.
Sorry, I was posting that we're live on Instagram, and I went to post the link, and Instagram's like, post a valid link. And I'm like, I did. And then I had copy pasted the StreamYard and YouTube link with the little things. I was like, oh, good catch, Instagram, because that probably would not have coded.
Secret lore for everyone who don't know. I danced the entire intro. The moment she hits go, I'm jamming the entire time.
I do too.
It's like, have you ever
got
noticed?
a bop, like
Yeah. Every time you come in screen and I'm here, I'm always dancing. I do it the entire time.
I looked very hard. I'm like not even being facetious. I spent like hours trying to find the right free song that I could use. And then I'd be like, oh, this one doesn't sound me. Oh, this one's close, but no. Then finally it was like between this one and another one. But I was like, no, it is this one. So we tried to use the like full version for a dubba 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 thing one time though, and I was like, the full version is not a song you want.
Yeah, we did it for the dance party too, and it was just like, they don't feel right.
Yes, this week we're mean girlsing it kind of, so we're all kitty ears because I went to retweet myself on Twitter, and it did not tweet Twitter. What's up? What's good?
Twitter's like, no, you want to tweet?
But how was everybody's weekend? I have a heart on my nose, and it's going to be gone by the end of the stream because probably before our first sprint. Because my God, is it itchy, and I just cannot not itch my nose.
I had a mask, but like. There's a part where everything was attached, like right here. So I was like, I will not survive at all.
Hello. So this week is my children's fall break, which is a blessing, really, because my sleep schedule is currently fucked to high heavens. I'm sleeping from 6:30 to noon. Around 10 a.m. I wake up enough to hear my children rising from the land of sleep and making themselves breakfast, and I'm like, yes, good. Good thing we stocked up on breakfast burritos.
Back to sleep.
Hello and welcome.
Mine has been either I have to force myself to go to bed at 2:30 in the morning, or I'm sleeping for 13 hours. It's either one. And like my alarm will go off at 6 a.m. and I'll be like, I can get up. I can do things. This is new. I don't know if I like this.
I had a migraine at like Thursday. I think I had migraine and migraine-induced insomnia plus an anxiety spike because PMS is a wonderful gift. And ever since that day, this has been my sleep schedule, and I just cannot fix it. So it's going to be a struggle. I'm going to be spending this week attempting to fix it. No scam call. I am disinterested in you.
I'm in the opposite camp, where my sleep schedule is typically closer to what Sam's is right now because I work nights. But over the weekend, because I did a bunch of socializing, I just came home and just like knocked out at 12 a.m. and then woke up at 9. Like, what is this? What is my life?
What is this morning thing?
What is this bright light? The sun. Ew. Why?
typically earned the nickname Dawn Chaser because I will be up until like 6 o'clock in the morning, easy. Just because that's how my brain go. But
I will say I did try. I almost was able to go to sleep early on Friday, but I mean like Thursday night into Friday. But what happened was I went to lay down and my middle child woke up and his head hurt and his throat hurt and he couldn't sleep because his nose was so stuffy, and his father and I gave him so many medicines. I was going to say like medical drugs, but I'm like, no, I will joke about that with myself, but not my children. We gave him so much medicine. Like, it was ridiculous. But he finally slept. So, and then I slept at 6 and then had to get up at 8 to take them to school. Which my husband was like, "How is our middle child? Did he go to school?" And I'm like, "Yes, because it was pajama day." And he was not missing it. He refused, and we would have just let him stay home and sleep. But nope, he was like,
"No,
pajama day.
I'll wear my pajamas to work, Mom, or to school."
So going from 10 hours, Jess has started weaning off her SSRIs, and now instead of 10 hours of sleep a week, she gets 6 a night. That is a great improvement.
What's SSRIs?
Yeah, 100%.
Those are your antidepressants, right, Jen? Jess, why did I call her Jen?
Wow, I was gonna say, who's Jen?
Why do I have to fix my banner message? Oh, I see now. I'm so protective of Pluto. Fox was like, fix your banner message, and I was like, I'm not taking Pluto off my banner.
I saw it too, and I was like, why was he upset about Pluto?
It's the Royals gonna royal. Because for those who weren't here last week, CV, Matt, and I did Royals. And so now I have to decide what to Halloween.
Oh yeah, I was there for that stream. I was commenting. Why am I going, oh, like I didn't know?
I was not. Where was I?
Should I write Halloween is for hoeing or for slit gear?
Ooh, I like Halloween's for hoeing.
All right, we'll go.
Yeah, that one rolls off the tongue better.
I only ask because I think they specifically say dress as slutty as possible in the movie. So
they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the anti-anxiety and depression miss. See, that's what I thought, but I always want to double check with something like that because
I just started a round of them.
Misinformation is bad.
Also, I'm on Adderall, so my sleep schedule
is not here. Yeah, let me tell you, I get to bitch at Jess. So she was like, I'm going on vacation next week. And then on her stream, I was giving her a little bit of shit for it. Because I'm like, yeah, she's abandoning me during our busiest time of recruitment. And she's like, you'll still be able to get a hold of me. It's not like I'm going to be vanished. Then, like, while she's gone, she's like, sorry, I haven't really been able to do anything because, like, internet is not reliable. So she did abandon me. It's fine though.
Listen, I completely forgot it was co-host recruitment week, and I was like, man, I wonder when co-host recruitment starts. Like, it's almost the time.
Do you have co-host recruiting the role in the Discord?
Do.
Because
you think I check it regularly? That's cute.
You should have been getting a lot of red numbers in your Discord.
I have it set to mentions only, and even though they still didn't pop up.
I was like, those are mentions.
They didn't pop up.
You only?
No.
Well, then Discord just didn't want you to know.
And I was like, let's check and see. And it was like, oh, it's like almost done. Well, that's okay. It happens like 3 times a year at school. I can skip around.
I'm like, why do I have these things open over here?
I know there is.
I was sharing a Dropbox link.
I did see the announcement today's the last day, but I'm going to skip this round, and that's okay.
Are you skipping co-hosting or just the entire thing?
The co-hosting.
Okay.
I sometimes attend other streams, sometimes I don't.
Will CB and Matt have streams? Their own streams that they're hosting. Yeah.
That's cool. I wasn't invited to either one of them. I wasn't invited to either one
CB did a generalized invite. She didn't invite anybody personally who wasn't me. So
no,
I'm mom. I get special privilege.
Nah, it's cool. It's fine. I was like acting upset. I don't really like
that though. You got to take that up with him. I don't know how.
I know. I saw it was literally everyone that's in our normal group but me, and I was like, well then.
Oh, so I guess Jess is chopped liver. So's Chris.
Okay, fine. Make me out the bad guy. It's cool. By everyone in our normal group, I mean me, Sam, CB, and Matt. Jess and Chris are also part of the normal crew. I'm sorry. That sounded really sassy. My bad.
Okay, this was the first time I didn't ask my stream regs first because I was like, well, I'm like, most of them are either participating or already told me that they're not participating. So I was like, I'll just have it be everybody. Plus, like, the way that I have explained it to I've explained it to them, so they already know. I feel like these are my baby birds, and they have been in my nest, and they have participated in the dubba 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 on my stream, but still, so it's still like vaguely contained. But now they're hosting their own streams, so I'm like, oh, I have to push them out my nest, but I'm still in both of their streams, so I'm like, supervised pushing them out.
I think that's really what didn't tip me off, but like. It's like, normally I've been asked by now by someone.
Your inner villain, Cody.
I'm always the inner villain. I'm always the bad guy. It's fine. That's why I think what really set me off was like no one asked me. Not that I needed to be asked, but it was just like I haven't heard anything about recruitment by anyone. Weird. And that's what I was like. Oh,
also,
it's almost over.
I've had a migraine flare up and bad insomnia, so it's like I haven't even done my own recruiting properly. I've been focused on keeping the ship afloat.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's cool. It was just very funny. It was just like, let's check recruitment. Oh, it's almost, that's okay.
I was on top of the recruitment, made plans, and then looked at my calendar and realized I couldn't do any of them. So
yeah,
so
Tina reached out and she was like, "Can I be on your stream?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sounds great." And then she's like, "Sam, I will be on the bus."
It's like, I will not be here.
Yeah.
Also, I knew these wouldn't be even because they're face tattoos, but now I'm seeing like either my face is really lopsided or these are extra lopsided, so it's fine. We're just gonna hide this half with hair.
Yeah, embrace the imperfection.
No.
It's fine.
I'm a hider.
It's cool.
Listen, if you hide the imperfection and pretend it's not there.
In case you couldn't tell, there was no conviction behind that.
It's fine.
It was just like, hide it. It's fine. Embrace it.
Guess what I finally made? You may notice because in the poll, there's an option that I hadn't been putting there for a great many moons. I like that TikTok shows you who views your profile if you turn that option on. Because then I'll be like, who the fuck is you looking at my profile?
Oh wait,
but also please follow.
Yes. Rainbow's here. Heck yeah.
They're whiskers. They're not actually on your face. It's just extra realistic. If only I could disassociate.
I was like, yeah, we could. You could believe that. It's fine.
Who has symmetrical whiskers? Cats with OCD. That's who. Yes, me. Hello. Hi, I'm Sam.
Hi, nice to meet you. That's another thing.
A 25-minute timer. Jess is correct. I finally made a 25-minute Sam face.
I did notice there was 4 options, but I was like, 30 minutes like normal.
But now, if 20 and 30 tie, I will no longer have to bitch at people to break the tie.
Oh yeah, I remember.
The difference. Which is only a problem. It's only a problem for the first sprint, but it's weird how consistently this is a problem.
For the first sprint only.
Well, yeah, because after that, I just look for a 25-minute timer, but the first one must be my face. It's tradition. I have been considering making a new set of my face timers. With the spring photo shoot photo.
Ooh, and then you can just alternate, and then you can have polls. Be like, all right, you want the old face or new face?
I was gonna say fantasy face or Earth Goddess face, but yes,
it's the same difference.
Merlin got too close to a burning candle once and singed one of. Oh, poor baby. Yes, then you guessed correctly. Instead of just being here as a cheerleader, I'm writing D&D character backstories. Well, we're here for both. What will you do if 25 minutes and 30 minutes ties? I'll pick 30 because it's a prettier number. Which is usually what I do anyway if nobody breaks the tie. So I am not bound to the answer of the poll. The answer of the poll just allows me to know what your thoughts are. The decision
You can get your input
in.
I cannot vote all.
I'm doing pre-cal homework. Yay. I wish you much luck with that.
Good luck. Godspeed. Math was never my strong suit.
Fox, I can't make my 4 cat timers because that requires me to record my cats. And let me tell you, I am the worst cat person ever because I just don't care enough to record my cats. I will get next time CB visits, give her the mission to record my cats.
I was going to say, just do CB's cat.
I would, but she's got to I got to see if she saves the storm footage or...
It's like, because it's all Snapchat. It's just storm.
Yeah, but they disappear.
Daily storm.
See, okay, but did you remind her? Because you have to remind her. Oh, she was too busy having fun with me. My apologies.
Okay, you're yelling at Fox. I thought you were yelling at me for a hot second. Like, do I have to remind her of what though?
All right.
Her daily storm.
You should go ahead.
Oh, okay. Hello, everybody. I'm a raccoon. Duh. I'm a gay. My name is Cody Keller. I'm a gay creator. I like to make gay shit. Straight people have had it too good for too long. They're working on gay things. That's fine. That's cool. Moving on. Next.
Sorry, I'm trying to get my back monitor turned on, so even when I pull up Milanote, I still have light in my face.
I don't know why, but I'm like the king of alternative outros. It's just whatever. First thing pops in my head.
Okay. Hey, I'm Tina. I go by Cabby Online. I make queer art and comics. I have a ongoing slice of life series, Coffin Bed, about a lesbian vampire and her human girlfriend, and I have a completed one-off called The Deep, about 2 deep sea mermaids who discuss job satisfaction, and one of them is dead. You can view my socials in the link tree below, and you can read all my stuff for free at cabby.com. Killed it. Been practicing all day.
See, everyone's intros are so professional, and then there's just me. Never be.
Are they though? Have you heard CBs recently? That poor child.
I know.
Going through an identity crisis.
I've lived right
therefore
now.
Also an intro crisis.
I understand that pain. That was me like 2 months ago. The rebranding crisis.
Chris just selectively parodies different parts of, so he's like got part of my intro, got part of Cody's intro.
He does parody mine a lot. It's fun. I love it.
It's great when Cody and Chris are both there. The first time Chris did it, he was like, "I write straight things because gay people have had it good, too good for too long." And Cody just like he had this excuse you, sir.
Excuse me. Plagiarism? Copyright? Lawyers?
Hi, and I'm Writing Mom Samantha Nasset. This is my channel where I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer-parent things. On Mondays, I host live streams much like this, where we have a good time and do some productivity sprints. And then other times, we talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. Like next week, we're talking about simulacrums, which if you don't know what those is, they're basically synthetic humans. Frankenstein is like one of the most well-known. I actually blew a couple minds this week because I'm like, yeah, we're talking about simulacrums because that's what Frankenstein is. And they're like, excuse you? No, it's the... Oh, so he is.
So, well then.
My brain needed to be rebooted for a moment. If you would like to read samples of my writing, you can go to SamanthaLNasset.com, where I have a spooky flash fiction Until Pizza Do Us Part that you can enjoy, or you can read All That Glitters, a murderous villain story, short story. And if you like those, you can, and you want to keep up to date with all things Sam and get exclusive early access to beta reading future short stories, you can sign up to my newsletter, also at SamanthaLNasset.com. If you are enjoying yourself, you can like the stream, subscribe, ring-a-ding the bell, And if you want to tip me and help me to be able to buy the Kahoot for the holiday party coming up in a couple months, you can do so at my Coffee Ko-fi Ko-fi down below.
Give Sam money.
Yes.
Give Sam money.
Soon we'll just get everyone into it.
Mhm.
I also love that me, Matt, and CV, it's a fight.
It's a competition. It is a fight to see
who says it first.
So what is everybody working on tonight? Oh, hold on. Okay, this is awful because I don't know how to set up my windows so I can see the screen and type things. Like you can half screen your browser and half screen your writing program. That's what I do. I have like most things a third screened.
I
Simulated
have 2
crumbs,
monitors. So I usually have like my main monitor, whichever one that happens to be, and then the other one usually has like 5 windows split.
Fox thought I said. Fox is making fun of how I say the word.
Oh.
See, now 20 and 25 minutes is tied, but that's fine. I'll just go with the bigger number.
So we gotta make 23-minute timer. Let's go.
So I'm gonna first start out with checking out Dubba things, and then after that, I'm gonna start putting away my laundry because it needs to be put away.
I'm going to be working on learning a 3D program. So excited.
I am probably going to be storyboarding another comic page. And then Raymond will look at it once it's finished.
I need to learn how to storyboard shit.
It's fun.
I see why the desktop monitor isn't
it's a lot of stick people
now.
See, it's not working. Yeah, I bet. I mean,
like part of the reason why Raymu specifically is my alpha reader is because he has known me for so long that he understands my doodles and my handwriting. Because like I don't even draw faces like 80% of the time when I'm storyboarding. But yeah, it's just a lot of stick people and dialogue. But
no, just put the first letter of their name on the face. Perfect, done. Give them a shirt.
Do, like first letter of their name with a little arrow pointing to them.
Yeah.
You got it though.
Yeah, just put it on the face. Give them a little shirt, something. Yeah. Give them a name tag. Listen, I can't tell you how many characters I have. Their just name is A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
Like, so many just like brain dumps where I'm like, A walks into a room, B eyes him warily. It's just where it goes.
Well, y'all have seen some of my temporary names that I eventually keep because that's just the kind of person I am.
So for my D&D character
gets me every time.
My D&D character's name was a placeholder, but it may not be a placeholder anymore.
Ooh.
That's usually how it works. Placeholder names usually end up being permanent.
Working on a fandom week prompt list. Working on a fandom week prompt list that's going on right now. I took all the prompts and I'm writing one story with each chapter is a prompt. Ooh, nice.
Nice.
I have about a dozen D&D characters and they need backgrounds. They're all fantastic concepts, but they're 2D. That's fair. That reminds me. Tina, you finished your character?
I was just going to say, don't look at me, don't perceive me.
Don't let Chris know. Did you see what Chris was doing in that? Well, to be fair, Matt asked for reminders. So
I have concepts. I just need to actually put them in the character profile. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you. So I will be like, yeah, I can try to remind you. The problem is I have to remember to remind you. You like ask Chris to remind you. You've now officially given a dog a bone.
Yeah, I noticed every other day. I would just be in there and I'd just see @Matt. And that's it.
Yeah. Character sheet.
Yeah, character sheet.
I started sweating.
And I literally was like, oh no, is he going to do that to me? Oh no.
Like I said,
character.
I was like, only because Matt asked.
Yeah. But it's very effective because it works on all of us.
Right? Yes.
Because all of us are like, I should also work on mine.
I'm pretty sure multiple points of the storyboard don't even have markers for who's who. I just know. That's fair.
Because Raymond knows me. And maybe I'm good at it.
Placeholder names like Leap and Leroy and Tripston Falls. I love those though. My placeholder names burn the inside of my alpha CP. He like murders his soul, and then I keep some of them anyway. And
Like
then
your city
it's
names.
yes. And then it's just it's the bane of his existence, and he
I love
questions
them
why
so
we've
much.
ever been friends. But I continue to do it anyway because it brings me joy.
I love them so much, and I love that he hates them so much.
That's what I need in my fandom.
I'm not gonna. I was just like, I love them, and I love that he hates them like vehemently. It's my favorite. And then you're just like, well, I'm gonna do it again.
I also love that I get complimented on them so much too, so it just further validates me. And then, but every time he's just like, I hate them so much.
And then you send him screenshots of how good they are. Like, see, people like them.
No, I don't need that much validation. I don't care.
No, just to fuck with them.
I have other things that I enjoy messing with him more. I have an absolutely purposeful name of Fillmore Graves. I love that one. That's my favorite.
Okay, but that's really good. I really like that one.
Got that one. Sam said it out loud.
I've never used placeholder names. So do you just automatically name everything then? Or do you just how do function without placeholders? Is
I
what I'm
use
asking.
a character generator, and then I just search for a name. I'm like, I like you. You're
but you use placeholder names, so you're not the one I'm talking to.
I know, but it was just anecdotal conversation. It's fine.
I don't typically use placeholder names for characters because character names are one of like the first things I figure out when I'm about to introduce a character. But I do placeholder titles quite a bit. So it'll be like, it's usually the blank story.
My placeholder title is 99.9% of the time a music thing. Sorry, I had to adjust.
Yeah.
Mine is just kind of like generally what the story is about. I did have a placeholder name for a store, and I called it the General Store. And then for the longest time, I'm like, what do you call a general store? And then I was like, what if I just called it the General Store?
When I'm talking about them out loud, I will use like a sentence description. So it's like my pit fighter shifter story. Everybody knows that. And like my murder story. But they're actual like their placeholder names. Well, All That Glitters has always been All That Glitters because it happened to fit, and that is also a song reference. But like Youngblood is what everything for my shifter pit fighter is labeled as, because that is the song that inspired the story, but that does not fit the actual story at all. So I'm gonna have to change it.
What's my current placeholder name? Placeholder title?
And then the Silver Air is the Silver Air because that's just always been its name. Well, like that's been its name for 16 years. So I don't remember what its placeholder was.
Oh, I found it. It's Hunting for Home.
My
20 minutes.
I like that as a title. My
thanks.
My current placeholder name was The Secret Admirer Story. You can never guess what it's about. And then the title ended up being One Mystery Treat, which was a whole thing of like me and Sam like doing a whole bunch of research and me posting in CC, and I threw a little mini tantrum. It was a whole thing.
Let me tell you. That day,
I was very insistent on.
Tina got a taste of my sass, my judgmental sass.
I just go right to Sam. I go right to the source. I'm like, Sam.
We learned that what's that word? I very much hate. Yeah, that one. I apparently can't pronounce it. I very much hate pronouns like my or our in titles. Apparently for my work because for some reason. Yes, possessive pronouns. Do not like. 0 out of 10. But yeah.
I don't know. I like it, but I also don't like it. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. We'll see how I feel after the thing's written. Because where it started and where it's at are two totally different things.
Yeah.
So CB was late because her RA stopped by for a surprise visit, and had to deal with her cat trying to make a break for it. And I mean, that's fair. Let me tell you, I was watching Spice Girls music video earlier, and I was like, man, the late 90s, early 2000s were wild. Nobody gave a shit about bras. Because like they're all just wearing little like backless crop tops. And let me just tell you, there's so many nipples everywhere in the music video. And I'm like, it's a good era. It's a good era.
This is a good era for nips.
Yes. I use a character name generator for some of them, and for others, I can come up with myself. My brain just won't let me do a placeholder name. Cool. It's good to know.
I actually recently changed the character, the antagonist name.
It's what? What is your placeholder type?
I think that was a reference to me saying that I don't like my or our, like the possessive
Oh, my.
So it's like my placeholder title. No, don't want. 0 out of 10. Love the joke.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I have it pulled up. I was about to.
Dang.
No, like Jess is valid in calling. I usually try to start by 25 minutes in, but my entire day is skewed, so my sense of time.
I was like, yeah, we usually also try to do intros like 10 minutes in too. We did them at 16.
No. 10-15. No,
oh.
10-15.
Huh.
I tell myself at 10 minutes we have to do our intros, and then I give me 5 minutes to wrap up the current conversation.
I see.
If anybody is ever curious about my thought process there. All right, so count us down. Who wants
Tina,
to
would you like to?
Count us down? I'll do it, yeah.
Right.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hello. We are back.
Oh wow, what perfect timing. My lesson just ended.
One day I'm going to like redo my timers, but at the end I'm going to just add a small voiceover of me going, hello, it is over.
And then, for the free-for-all, we have very specific ones where it's like, bing bong, 10 minutes remain. No?
I don't like that noise.
Or
That
something
noise
like
is
a very
natural.
soft, subtle, like 5 minutes
yes.
remaining. Not like bing bong, but like
Yes.
that way we all can like focus and not have one of us panic thinking that they might miss the time.
Banners. I was like, I clicked over on this tab to do a thing, and I couldn't remember what the thing was. I was switching the banners. So how did everybody do that sprint?
I went potty, I refilled my water, and I completed one lesson and took notes.
Hold on. Sorry, some of my hair got like stuck in the crevice of where, you know, your waist bends.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was weird because I couldn't figure out which hair it was. And I didn't want to unbend. So I realized that's a very special problem that probably a lot of people don't have. But, you know, it was a thing that just happened. So,
I still understood what you meant.
Tina, how did you do?
On my storyboard.
You were muted. I've unmuted you.
Oh,
so
whoops.
What did you say?
I
thought you were
I
being
got
weirdly
through
quiet, but
I thought so too. It was like,
I mean, I kind of was, but I got through about 3/4 of the storyboard. So I'll either polish it off next sprint or just after the stream. But yeah.
possibly next sprint, which I should go ahead and put the poll up for sprint too. And the timer.
yes.
Break timer. That's what I wanted. I was like, there's a word that I'm missing in between that. Cody, how did you say you did?
I went potty, I refilled my water, and I actually, but the moment you said hello, my lesson ended. It's a kind of perfect timer.
Good.
And I was literally just finishing up, like adding like 2 or 3 things in my notes, and I am looking for there. That's great. So I can get to the next lesson and cue that up.
So I'm gonna go over what chat was saying during the thing while everybody says how they did. It's 25 minutes in somewhere. That's fair. I can absolutely distract you from starting. Just infect everything with my ADHD chaos, which
I already got that covered.
You replied back with between my brain fog and Cody's ADHD. It's not hard.
I literally was be like, I was like, I have my own ADHD. I have like my own chaos. Don't worry. And I was like, that seems a little too aggressive. I saw Sam post like, Sam got it.
No, you just be like, me too, boo, me too.
Yeah. I was like, because normally that'd been like an intrusive thought response. So I was like, do I really want to post that?
I see.
Yeah, I'm thinking now about possible consequences to words I say out loud.
Oh, well, that's good.
I know, it's new.
Control. Oh, that reminded me, you were talking about time blindness earlier, and I realized, you want to know how I happen to like always catch the end of my timers?
How?
My music, my playlist. I know how long all of my songs are, so when a new song starts, I glance at the timer and I know how much time will be left based on when that song ends.
Nice.
So like when all the things she said pops up, I'm like, okay, this is slightly less than 4 minutes, and then we had like 3 minutes ish left, and I'm like, okay, so toward the end of my song I need to check back in. And I realized that is how I've been coping with mild time blindness my whole life.
You know what? I feel that.
Because if I have a really bad migraine and I can't focus and I have to turn my music off to do anything, it will be hours before I realize.
I use videos for the same deal.
I can't. The videos don't mean anything to me for some reason, because like I tried to do that with Teen Wolf over the weekend, but I'm like, oh, suddenly I'm 4 episodes later when I was only going to watch one more.
Because like,
Then these are like 40 minutes long, so that's not ideal.
I explained it to Fox, and he's like, "There's so many numbers." I was like, "All right, cool. I have to go to bed in 2-ish hours. I know that it takes me half hour to shower, 10 minutes to do this, probably a minute to get dressed if I want to. That's debatable. And then I also have to do this. It takes me these amount of times to do these things, and that's if I get to bed. So projectedly, if everything goes to plan, I'll be in bed by 2 a.m. But we also have to take into account fucking around, scrolling on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter." He's like, "There's that was so much."
My
Like,
cat
yes, I know.
showing his subservience by being at my feet as opposed to higher than me.
Oh,
This one knows his place.
Yeah, I was like, welcome to my brain.
I have changed the name of my main character after I finished the novel because I'm smart like that. But my brain had a mini argument for you, Kelly, because Virgo. I was like, but then isn't that a placeholder name? But then I'm like, but it's not an intentional placeholder name. So no, it's not a placeholder name. It's just a correction of a mistake. And I'm like, okay, yes, that makes sense. So just so you know, I criticized and then defended you in my head.
In the span of 2 seconds.
Yes, that's what I do.
That
looks like some quality. So what happened is I have a headache, and I text my oldest to bring me pain meds and a drink, and he did so, and then wanted to try on my ears. So
speaking of ears,
I went back and forth in my head. I was like, to correct to kitten or not, but then I was like, Kid Cat sounds like a pun for Kit Kat, so that just amused me to no end, and I left it. Just know you caused a moral dilemma in my brain.
But then I was amused.
Hello, everyone. Dropping in before my pasta coma takes over. Well wishes to you all. Matt, I don't know if you're still here, but you were going to do some specific work today. And now I feel like I must call you out for not doing it. I won't specify what the work was, but.
And I will yell at him to bring me some pasta.
You do that.
I will.
Outside of my obligations. Also, for those who don't know, this is our patron saint of the streams, Artemis, not the same cat that is at
your feet. Yeah.
Came during the sprint. This one glows, so it's really weird because in person they're the exact same shade of white and black, right? They're not related. They just both happen to be the same shade of white and black. But Artemis glows every time she's on camera. Like,
because she's the patron saint of the stream.
Come here, look at this. She's glowing, like literally. But Balder does not. He's just vaguely white gray. So I'm like, yes, but I'm just saying. No,
it's divine.
So Reimu caught the kid, the cat, but Miss Tina switched into a unicorn horn.
I did slide off screen, and then I came back.
Oh, I'm sad I missed that.
Like it's at the end of the sprint. You'll see that Tina was gone.
Because where my StreamYard was completely blocked by notes and videos.
I've been having fun doing just like the slow slide, like away from the camera. And then coming back.
I recently had to acquire a folding chair that no longer has wheels, so I can't casually just slide off screen. I can, but it makes a lot of noise. It is not fun. It takes a lot of work.
458 words for that like super long prompt chapter. Good. Very nice. 115 words for me. Nice. I somehow wrote half a page for Leapin' Leroy with the starting point of, okay, I know I arbitrarily decided that he's the last of his tribe and he should have been a wizard, but he's a barbarian. Love it. Time blindness. I know these episodes are 40 minutes and I need to go to bed when this one ends. Yes, however, 4 episodes later, still not in bed.
I every time I'm like, all right, just one more chapter. The entire book was gone.
I appreciate your thinky thoughts on name change. Awesome.
One day I was like, all right, I'm gonna just read the first chapter of this book. It seems interesting.
No!
I finished the book in one night.
Artemis, you have a friend. Merlin mowed at you.
Oh.
I know you only mow at the dead of night when everybody else is asleep and you demand attention. That's
so no one can hear you.
No, so I can hear her.
Mother.
she stalks me. She is obsessed. I don't know if I've ever sent you videos, Cody, but like
No.
when I go to put the kids to bed, she's like meow, 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 and she's like aggressively rubbing her head on just any part of me she can reach. And
That's
I'm like,
Thor.
cat. And then like if I'm not paying attention to her, it's the little paw on the arm. But it's not a gentle paw. It's a paw with slightly extended claws, so she can try to pull my arm to her or my leg. And I'm like, cat, why? Why are you so
slightly assaulting? Just slightly,
Like-
like a little, leaving a baby mark.
Like, I love her, but I am trying to color on happy color. I don't have a free hand. I love that Merlin is reactive when I'm on stream. I don't know if Merlin is reactive to a lot of people on stream, but this is the second or third stream I've been told that Merlin cares that I'm here. So I
Thor
know a
likes to
cat.
become a perch.
See, my first cat Salem used to perch on my shoulders, and I loved it.
No, my roommate taught him that. So now every time I walk by, Thor will like every time you pet Thor, he's immediately trying to reach up for like shoulder. It's like, no, Thor, I'm not. You're not going to become a parrot. Cat for me, buddy.
I know a cat scientist, Twitch. I'm going to ask her magical cat questions. Me?
I
Or a
want to know
different one?
magical science. I don't know science cat witch.
Merlin meowed at my door so much while I was on vacation that the bird meows. Oh, no, Merlin.
That's and now you can have a meow off with the bird. It's
Meow,
exciting.
meow, 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 meow. Also, Jess, I asked you a question in the Myler note. If you could check it at your leisure. Oh yeah, I didn't say how I did. Well,
Yeah, how'd you do, Sam?
I took my medicine so that my brain can partially function. I don't know. I'm having a day today, and I don't like it. I couldn't do my makeup in the camera, and that continues to burn my bacon. I'm so annoyed at that, and I feel relieved because I also couldn't do it very well in the mirror. So I think I'm just having a weird hand-eye coordination day. But the children, I oversaw them cleaning the garage den today, so that wasn't during the sprint. I have to refocus. I did turn the break timer on though.
Good.
But yes, during the sprint, I took pain meds, so hopefully I can function again. I checked that there hasn't been any updates in the spreadsheet for co-hosting. I don't anticipate there to be any changes at all for the rest of the night because it's like the wee hours of the final, but sometimes there are because our European hosts and stuff will be awaking and doing their stuff. So like we won't. It's like the deadline is midnight, but until we wake up tomorrow morning, go in there, add co-host. We're not gonna timestamp check it.
Yeah. Such an arbitrary date, considering some of the co-hosts are in Europe. Where midnight is different.
That's why we're a little. Well, normally we say midnight EST, so it's like 11 my time. But like I said, the point is to be organized, not dictators.
Yeah, it's like
so that's why.
Like this is the final day. Just do it before we wake up this day. It's fine.
And then I wanted to start sorting my laundry, but Balder realized I existed in here, and he is a needy boy. But he's so weird in his neediness because he'll come over and he'll want to be pet, but then like he can't handle being pet, so he just like walks around and leaves and comes back. Like he's so excited to be pet that he moves himself away and then like turns around and really my cat Balder has top himbo energy.
I was about to say,
He is just the dumbest boy, but like so lovable, and he tries. He hates cuddling, but if like my anxiety's high or I am having a bad migraine flare up, all he will do is just be attached to me cuddling.
Oh, it's the poor cat.
Like I don't. Yeah, and it was funny when he first started doing it because you could clearly tell he was very uncomfortable doing it. So he was like, cuddling. The look on his face was, I don't want to be here. I don't want to
I love that he's like, I hate cuddles, but mother needs me.
Now he's adjusted to it, but like I was like, you don't have to do this, Balder. It's okay, and he's just like, meow.
It reminds me of that GIF of like the person in the bathroom and someone else is like petting them with the broom, you know, being like they're there.
Yeah,
It's very
that's
dad
Boulder.
energy.
Just like, I know you need me. I don't want to be here, but I'm here.
Also, though, he's like, oh my god, he's such a little tyrant of my bedtime. I'm like, sir, my mother couldn't control my bedtime. My husband I can't control my bedtime. What the fuck make you think you can? Because at 3 a.m., if I am not in my room laying down at 3 a.m., he will hunt me down and just meow at me. He'll just like stand there, and he stands there and he looks so dainty and just like so dapper because he's a tuxedo cat, like the strictest definition of tuxedo cat. He's got like the little white fur here, his little gloves, he's got socks. He's
a dapper
top
boy.
tier tuxedo. So he's just standing there and he's like, meow, meow. And like the other day I was like, is it bedtime? And he goes, meow. And I'm like, I have insomnia. And he just kind of tilts his head at me and then he goes, meow. And I'm like, you care not for my insomnia. And again, I got a chipper, meow. Like, sir.
You talking about the pets reminded me of Thor, because Thor, I'm sure like most cats, hates his tail being touched. Like he'll stand there for like a minute and then just like, nah, don't touch my tail. But then he'll like get up and then completely turn around and present you his tail. So I just like grab it. So like I don't grab it, but like I rub his tail again and he gets real saucy about it. He gets like real upset and then turns back around and presents me his tail. So I do it again. It's like, sir.
Oh, we recently discovered a thing about our fat love boy Eros. And so Eros has always been a little weird when it comes to being pet or existing in general. Like sometimes he would groom himself and then just take off across the house like a bullet. Turns out he's got a condition.
Oh.
It's a nerve condition that makes him extremely sensitive to touch and everything. So, like, he's literally trying to escape the sensation of grooming himself. But he's such, like, a happy, carefree boy. And so we're like, okay. And it's not, like, fatal or anything. All it really means is we just have to be gentle and try to make him as stress-free as possible, which I'm like, have you seen this spoiled-ass cat? Like, he has a spot on the bed. The dogs, which don't even respect mine or Chris's spot on the bed, will not touch his spot. They're like, nah, Eros is there. Like before they jump on the bed at night, they look up to see where he is so they can like make sure that they respect his space. So
I have seen plenty of video where I've just seen Sam where she's like, I have a dog on my chest and I have a dog under my leg. No, I can't move.
I can't breathe if they're on my chest.
I can't breathe and I can't escape. I'm going to die.
No, it's like from stomach down, they're allowed to lay. But there was one picture or video I sent of Cody, and I'm like, one of my dogs was in between, like under one leg, over the other leg, and I'm like, she put herself here, and I don't know how. I don't know how we got like this. And Cody was like, how? And I'm like, I don't know.
How? Like, because like that takes skill.
It does. And she was comfy too. I'm like, are you sure? Because I wouldn't be comfortable with a knee under my stomach, but
I was like, this is skill because she had to get over and under her leg. Where did she start? Over or under? That's probably what I wanted. Probably under would be easier, but it's just like
because when I like go to sleep or when I nap, I start in a ball and then like I stretch out. And let me tell you, I care not if a dog is there. I will just lay my legs on them, and they're like bigger than me, so it's fine.
I've slept with plenty of dog, and same thing.
Awoken from my pasta coma to sip wine and eat dried fruit because I really wanted to live. Last week's royalty costume. Do you have your crown on your head, Matt? Is what I need to know.
And if you don't, you better.
Also, are you going to work on the thing you said you were going to work on? That's the other thing I need to know. Cat trivia: if your cat gets the zoomies after using the litter box, yes, it's because they dropped ball elastic and are lighter weight. I mean, that's fair. I feel that. There's sometimes
he'll just get zoomies randomly, and then like he'll also do this thing where late at night.
Artemis is the only animal in the house small enough to fit on my side, and she will take advantage of that. Sorry.
No, Thor will do these things for like I like to cook at night and I like to be active at night. So Thor will either be the bravest boy ever and be like meow and like rub all over my legs, or I will turn and he's zoomed across the house. And I'll be like Thor, and he'll just like keep running away from me. I'm like, you were brave 2 minutes ago. Why are you scared of me now? I've done nothing. Literally, I haven't seen you all day.
No one, and by no one I mean not Jess or Fox yell at me. I'm finding a timer.
I love the clarification. It's like I never yell. Promise.
Because
Yeah,
no one else is allowed to yell at me.
It's because I forget.
Yeah, I wouldn't dare.
My timing's so far off. I don't know. Barely know.
Well,
what
like
time it is.
my break timer just went off, and I don't know if other people can hear it.
Oh no, I didn't hear it.
No.
I await the day for Fox to be like, I put on a break timer.
I was gonna say, I bet Fox put his own break timer on. Let's be honest. Yeah, no, it's Thor's either the bravest boy ever, or he's terrified of you.
I need to make Fox timers.
We have the Fox fan club.
We do. We have a Fox fan club. I have access to the files for the Fox. So maybe. Dare Tina, do it.
Do it. Do it. Peer pressure.
I do not want to.
Fox, find Tina on Discord and message her.
He enjoys having priority of the few days off a year she has.
That is
It was like before I knew anything else about my October schedule, I knew Tina was being on the stream this day. I didn't even know what stream was going to be this day.
Yeah, because typically I'm
I have
working.
access to the Fox files. Yes. See, Jess, one of us can make it. One of us can do it. I don't know what we're daring because I missed it, but I support this dare. Yelling at me. That's what we're being dared to do.
Fox, find Tina on Discord. Yell at her to yell at Sam.
Look, wanna
also find me on Discord because you're cool. I don't want to talk to you.
Look, I do one of two things when I am yelled at. I either get very annoyed at you and I'm now not going to talk to you for a while, or I'll cry in the corner. You want to make me cry?
No, I want neither of these things.
Exactly.
I want the opposite of those things. I want smiles and a lot of chatting.
Exactly. Let me tell you, the day 12-year-old Sam discovered not talking to people could be a valid threat.
I think there's me where I just send you endless messages all the time, just waiting for you to respond.
I feel so bad because Cody will send me a message and I'll read it half blurry because I just woke up, and then one of the children will need something and then I will click away and I will just forget to respond to Cody for days.
And then literally within that days, I have sent her 8 different messages about 17 different subjects.
It's just a repeat because I'm like, oh, I need to respond to that and that and that. Yeah, you can have a water seltzer. What? Why you keep asking me this? No, dehydrate.
So it's just and then she'll just respond one at a time, and it's so funny.
I'm dedicated.
Quick question.
Yes.
How many sprints are we doing tonight?
3.
Okay, cool.
Yes, we always do 3. We would do 3, and then depending on when the third one was going to end, we might do a 4th. But my co-hosts don't know their own limits, so I have to mom them, and they're not allowed to 4th anymore because they keep falling asleep on me.
Not me.
I would probably not, but yeah.
No, but you start dying.
I am not that co-host. Listen, I'm on Adderall now. I'm great. I'm golden.
I'll send messages to Tina nonstop for 8 hours, and then when she finally responds,
that's also happened.
Look, I feel like this is very me and Fox vibes.
That's also me, you guys too.
I've
also done that
I'll
to
come
you.
back to just a stream of messages, and then when I finally respond, nothing.
Done that multiple times.
Yeah.
To multiple people. Anyway, we all ready?
No, I'm editing a banner.
Okay, cool. Never mind.
Now we're ready.
All right, cool. We're gonna go in 3, 2, 1. Lego.
I just need you to know I thought Lugosi as in Bella Lugosi because of the way you said Lego.
I was actually thinking Lego She.
And we're back. We're back, and I suddenly have to go pee, and I'm like, Bladder, why?
Bladder, ¿por qué?
But how did everybody do that sprint?
I made it through 2 units of this lecture, and I made like 6 little simple houses. Next is a lighthouse.
Nice. So let me tell you, it is so nice to have a critique partner who cares about your reading disabilities, because he changed the whole ass writing document and font and just every formatting and everything so that it was easier for me to read it.
Aww.
Uh-huh.
And then I discovered that the writing program on my phone could read to me, so but I could follow along easier on it. So that's
Yeah.
So what happened to me during the sprint was somebody needed me to do something on the dubba dubba dubba, so I did that. And then I went to start sorting my laundry, only to discover that some clothes smell fine and other clothes don't. And my children had helped me with the laundry earlier, and I think they combined a basket of dirty clothes with a basket of clean clothes. So I'm just to rewash the whole ass basket. And then I was like, well, that everything I was gonna do now. I don't know how to function. So it like took me a couple minutes to reprogram my brain to do a different task. And I'm like, let's listen to this manuscript. So I did that. I listened to a whole chapter while also singing to my playlist, because my brain can multitask audio. Nothing else but audio. We got 2 separate things.
Down pat.
So go
Guess who
ahead.
finished her D&D profile?
Yes.
It's
You're now
done.
off
It's
of
done.
Chris's list.
Yeah. I'll stop
Did you know
sweating
how to
every
do
time
Did you know how to do the money?
That's the one thing I didn't do. But I looked at the possessions and I was like, I'm not touching that. But I figured when we actually because I wasn't sure of what our DM is going to do in terms of money.
What CB is doing,
GM.
because it's same difference, Dungeon Master, Game
Okay,
Master.
cool.
So what CB is doing is you can go through the equipment, pick out which starting equipment you want, and then because we're level 3, you go to the gold, you roll the dice, it tells you to multiply that by 10, and then half that, and that's going to be like our starting gold, basically.
Excuse me while I do that
roll
right
the
now.
Dice, multiply by 10 in half.
Yes.
Okay.
If you go to the sheet, it gives you all the instructions except the halving.
Okay.
And that's just because we're level 3, so but we're getting equipment for free, so that's why. Because normally you either get starting equipment or you get gold, and you buy starting equipment with the gold. So
my boy's almost done. I just have some character identifier stuff and a little bit of background.
I am so done and have so many tiny details in there, and I have a horse.
Me and CB were going to talk about a thing, but then I don't know if I want to do that thing anymore.
I was going to say, but then you both have ADHD. And
that too.
But you
we did talk about it for I literally was like, CB, I'm going to send you the background for my character. I feel so proud of it. 3 days later, I actually sent it.
It happens. Oh, well, yes, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't yet know how, if that's a good thing or not, that we can't send images on YouTube. Because I'm sure bots and trolls would make that a regrettable decision. I saw you that time.
I don't know if you can see, but mine is bats.
I came back and just bats.
So 393 words, not only is that great progress, also that's a beautiful number. So pretty. I love it. I wrote less because I channel my characters while I write and switch to Grum, which is more of a sound than a name. So it should be Grum. How I say it. He's pretty sure it's his name, fair, but is a very, very slow and deliberate. Also fair. 293 words, also very nice. things just got dramatic in my whip. Oh, we love the drama. Friggin' bats. I love Halloween. Yes. So, fun thing, at the zoo, bats were the first animal that my children actually became invested in. Because they have, like, in the little reptile fish house, it's a cool dark place where they put all the animals that need, like, climate controlled areas. And my youngest is an enigma wrapped in a mystery, served with a side of what the fuck. So we go through, like, some of the creepy critters, and, you know, if it is venomous, she loved it. If it is relatively harmless, she is terrified, convinced it will murder her. And I'm like, child, why? And, like, she literally, as a toddler, wanted to go up and pet, like, the rattlers and the copperheads. And I'm like, child, why? But then, like, you just walk by the garden snakes and she's like, it's gonna eat me. And I'm like, what are you basing these decisions on?
Maybe vibes.
That's what I need.
Vibes. She just because at first I was like, oh well, that's kind of cute. She likes the danger critters, but then, like, was terrified of the non-danger critters, and I'm like, we need to reprogram your survival instincts.
I've done the gold thing. I learned.
So I just have to say, if you see
where is
Wet
it on
and Wild,
Beyond?
Give me a second and I'll go through it with you. Okay. I just want to say that if you see this brand, I have had this lipstick for like 8 years, and it is still phenomenal. And yes, I know makeup has a shelf life, but it doesn't smell weird yet, so it's fine. It doesn't smell weird. It's still smooth. It doesn't taste odd. So
sweet, my boy has gold.
I need to do the final poll. Final sprint.
It's the final sprint, y'all.
My oldest does the final countdown with me now, and I am so pleased.
Good.
I'm like, yes, as it should be. I just felt like somebody took an ice pick to my temple. That's fun.
I feel that. I understand that pain. Just in my back.
I was about to say, just give that lipstick its yearly lick/nibble to make sure it's still good. So this is what I do. Like, this is what I do. I like do this. I'm like, still looks wet. Smells fine. And then I like put it on my hand and I'm like, meh, it's all right. And then I put it on my lips. And if it tastes funny, it immediately comes off. And if it doesn't, then it's fine.
This is fine.
Also, I was talking to somebody and I'm like, yeah, I got these lipsticks that are also like eye safe. And I think it was my sister. And she comes back with, yeah, most lipsticks are also eye safe because you ingest them. And I'm like, that's fair.
That's
like, yeah. Because some eyeshadows' selling point is that they're also lipstick, right? That they're like eye makeup that's safe for your lips. And because I was talking to her and I was having a dyslexic moment of where I'm like, I don't remember if it's the eyeshadow is safe for my lips or if the lips are safe for my eyes. And she comes back with, it's probably that the eyeshadow is safe for your lips because most lipstick is default safe for your eyes since you ingest it. And I'm like, why did I never think about that? But also, don't quote us. This was just us talking. And, you know, if we want to risk our own safety without fact checking, that's one thing. Don't risk yours. Always fact check.
Every time I see Tina's hair, I always think that like the roses are just braided hair coiled up.
Yes,
and then
it does like, give that vibe.
And then she stuck the bats in. Yes.
There you go, Tina. If you want like a cheap wig, it's on your head.
If I had long hair, I probably would have done something like that because I did really love braiding it. when it was long.
Yeah, it would just be
But,
like
yeah.
the sides would still be shaved, but then it would just be like, like braided or like curled up,
Let
and
me
then
tell
just
you, I considered doing like part pigtails today so that it would be like this.
Oh,
But
that'd be
then
cute.
like time just got away from
Mhm.
me and I said, yeah, fuck it. I don't want to look for hair ties.
oh, also the inside of my ears are glittery.
But
Case
yeah,
no
I
one saw.
have
They
so
just
much
adjusted
hair that if I did a partial pigtail, excuse me, as I divorced some of my hair. Excuse
No,
me.
not a divorce.
That if I did like a part pigtail, I still would have just all of this down here. So
It's very
gives that nice
Hatsune
little
Miku of you.
bump. Yes.
Weird question for you, Sam, just because you
Sure.
said it and it brought it up in my brain. Whenever you separate things, do you often call it like a divorce?
Oh yes. If I ever critique anything for you, sentence divorce is my phrase for make this 2 sentences.
Because literally all the time, if I'm separating something, I'd be like, it's time for a divorce.
I'll be like, divorce them, marry this.
Yup. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure because I was like, I say it all the time.
Everything.
And I'm like, I thought I was the only one that ever did that. Because all my coworkers like, why are you screaming divorce every day? I'm like, well, this
word
box
is overused. Put it in timeout.
Yeah, that worked.
I do when I critique partner for my dearest friend Lefty. I for some reason, whenever I see a filter word, I imagine myself like in a Western, like with a little bandana, like opening the doors, and I'm like, them's filter words. And so that's always how I type it.
If it's a filter word, I'll just be like, kill it.
Kill it. Get rid of it. All of it.
So Fox will complain. He's like murdering all my filters again. And I'm like, they need to be.
They need to be.
What's up, babe?
It reminds me, in my whip, I have I told Sam this earlier, but it's just like I have a portion of my whip, and it's like I don't like.
Yes, I'm sure.
I don't know if this is a thing for everyone else, but like in a lot of male romances, once the two main couple get together, it's just boning for the rest of the book. It's like boning until like the bad thing's supposed to happen, and then more boning at the end, right? And I'm literally looking at my whip, and I'm like,
and they put it.
I don't even know if I want to have one sex scene. I have one part of my outline that says touch butt ?
The payments
touch butt ?
I'm gonna start using that. But
listen, I love every time I talk about like sex in front of people who don't like talking about it, I would say like, you guys touch butts.
My current whip is also a MM romance, and I'm like the characters, like it's too early in the relationship for them a little bit. Like
oh no, you don't know gays. The first date.
I know, but specific gays.
Yeah. Like I get it.
That I gotta catch up on. See, Cody, whenever you like use butt touch as a sexual thing, I can't take it that way. I have to like think about it because I associate butt touching with when Chris rolls away from me and then his butt touches my butt and it gives me deep sadness. Because he rolled away from me and I've been abandoned. He hates me now. Our marriage is over. This is what you gotta put up with.
That's so funny.
So Cody, when you message me and you're like, yeah, I put in my whip, like, do you touch butts? I'm like, no, be happy. Don't
I noticed you didn't respond to that one. I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
Well, it's because I went through several emotions and then a child distracted me. Like, if I ever don't respond to something, assume a child asked me an inane question that I then had to mull over. Why are they asking me this? Because it's like, that's the one thing I hate about them going to school is now they're like, can I go to the bathroom? No, you cannot use the bathroom in your own home. Drives me in like up the wall. It just drives me up the wall. I'm like, why? And then when they like come downstairs, they're like, can I have a drink? No, dehydrate. Yes, go get a drink. But I can't like
hydration in this.
I don't want to make them feel bad, so I have to internalize it all. I can't say any of this to them. So then I'm just sitting there to myself in my head, just ranting about how my children should not be asking for their basic rights in the house. But it is what it is, and I encourage them asking for things because I would rather them over ask than ask for things that they shouldn't do or get into. But yes, so just assume if I ever don't respond to anything, it is because a child came in and I just had a meltdown inside myself.
Here's what happened. Every time I closed Discord and reopened it, it'd be on our chat, and I'd be like, "Oh, Sam didn't respond." Close Discord again. 3 hours later, I'm like, "Oh, let me check on Discord." Oh, Sam didn't respond. All right.
There's also the problem of sometimes if I'm like on multiple devices, I'll leave my phone open on a DM with somebody, and I'll be on my laptop, so I never actually get the notification because my phone's open, and I'm like, then like hours later, I'm like, I am so sorry. Discord kept you from me.
It let me down.
I don't. Okay, so a filter word is when you are when the word filters your experience through the characters. So saying something like Mary saw her little lambs. That saw is the filter word, and it like distances us from the character, where you could just be like I'm trying to rewrite that sentence without saw, and it's just like
I was also trying to rewrite it too.
Mary saw her little lambs, or just like Mary's little lambs were across the lane, right? Like she saw her lambs across the lane versus her lambs were across the lane. One of these is filtering what she sees. The other one is just, oh, well, we see them across the lane because that's where they are. I hope I explained that well, because my head is slowly getting worse.
Or it's like Lucas smelled burning pizza versus burning pizza. The smell of burning pizza was in the air.
Yes. You
I'm
may
not going to try to do an example.
Speaking of smelling pizza, you can read my flash fiction.
See that segue. Segues.
Learn to self promo.
Listen, I set him up. She knocks him down.
I think I should know how to make love to something innocent without leaving my fingerprint. Anybody who doesn't know that song is like gonna be like, Sam, how did you get there? And it's because the part that precedes that is, I set them up to knock them down. I think I should know. So yeah, that's why.
I know this song, but I don't actually know this song. Like I've heard it, but I don't know what it is.
I'll look it up in a little bit. It's like tight jeans, something mini skirts makes a man go.
Go.
Oh, it's 303, isn't it?
Yeah, it is 303.
And I think Katy Perry?
Yes. 303 and Katy Perry. Hold on.
Yes. Although the version without her is better.
I didn't know there was a version without her.
I was also unaware.
I was a fan of 303 back in the day. But
I only know that song, as is my habit. There's this comic that I probably can't find again, but it's two people like stocking shelves and their butts touch, and it's just my butt, your butt together, friendship. Oh my god, that's so relatable when I work conventions, because like the way we make sure the aisle is that two people can get in there and like your butts barely touch. So what we will do is we'll stand back by back and we'll stock, and if our butts get in the way of each other, then the aisle's too small. So we try to, like, depending on how big the booth is, we try to make it so that like people with a stroller or a wheelchair could get in, but often we don't have that. Luxury. Unfortunately. Yeah, luxury. Thank you. So sounds like Discord does me dirty so much because of the way it's programmed and my inability to remember this.
Oh, same. It made me miss an entire co-host week. So,
it's perspective. There's like filter words aren't actually Satan, but I treat them as if they are. So, and the Satan I don't like because I am a fan. Yes, that's the name of the song.
Okay.
Thank you. If the name of the song is not one of the lyrics, I will absolutely never remember it. That's just how it is. I was like, my husband and I were talking about music the other day, and I was like, yeah, I really like the song Great Escape. But like I fucked up and said it was by this one band that it's not by. And then he was like, he looked it up because he thought maybe I was thinking of a different band, which he is half right. But the band he thought I was thinking of has a song called Escape, but it's not Great Escape. And he's like, hun, did you misremember the title? Because like you don't remember titles, you only remember predominant lyrics. And I'm like, wow, that is true. Great Escape is the title and a predominant lyric. So that I remember it. I also well, I mainly remember the title because I like that other band, but I don't like their song Escape. So I'm like, no, I must find the right one.
Is Great Escape by Boys Like Girls?
Yes.
I started playing when you said Great Escape.
Throw it away, forget yesterday. Which I have a gripe about the way that chorus is sung, because he goes, throw it away. And like, I don't know if there's a backup singer who continues it or another track that continues it, but he sings over himself for the second part. Because he goes, throw it away, and then like away comes, and then he goes, forget yesterday, but it cuts in on itself. So when I'm trying to sing it in the car, it makes it hard for me to transition to it because I'm like still carrying over the first part, and I'm like, sir, which my husband's like, yeah, that sounds like a really you problem. Why you gotta be like that?
Love that song. And at first I was like, I don't know what that is, and then he sang "Throw It Away." I'm like, I know exactly what the song is.
Yes. We'll make the greatest escape. I was talking to a few people about the punk genre because I posted a TikTok where it was like, emo, how emo are you? And they had quite a few punk songs in there. And it's like somebody tried to like I knew Daisy Dukes was in there, but I was like, but that, I don't know, something about that's wrong. I haven't heard the song in like over a decade, but
long legs Daisy Dukes make some mango.
Yeah.
But what was I saying before I got distracted by the lyric? Oh yeah. We were like talking about punk. And
I love punk so much.
It's like one of the reasons that it might have been my husband. He doesn't like punk bands is a lot of their songs like don't follow certain music conventions, or they just like do whatever. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's like super punk. Because like you can't have gatekeepers in punk. It defeats the entire purpose of punk, because all punk is liking what you like, regardless of whether or not it's like
cool or
society
trendy.
Says that you can. It doesn't, cool and trendy doesn't matter. It's just liking what you like, regardless of whether or not society says you can. Because a lot of punk stuff can be super popular, but like it's that thing where society like basically mocks you or makes fun of you for liking it, right? It's like, oh, like emo is a really good example, because like, oh, well, people who are emo are just like so emotional and dark and stuff, and it's like a trend to make fun of them. But it's like loving that anyway is what makes you punk. So it's like anybody who tries to be like, oh, well, punk is this or punk is that, just doesn't actually understand punk.
So I am a punk kid. I love punk music. It's my favorite. Love everything about punk. Folk punk. Ooh.
Remo, get my Discord information from Tina. I need to know what this is.
I will connect.
I also need to know. Get my information.
I vaguely remember what this is.
Get my information.
Yes, I will connect.
I need, because
all of the.
And like both leaders in my work are metalheads, and the owner of my job is also a metalhead. So like I have a denim vest with
metalheads are simultaneously the most intense and kindest people in the world.
And like they were talking one day and they're like, oh, we're metalheads. And I literally stood up, turned around, showed them my vest. I'm like, yeah, and I'm a punk kid. So it's like, and I'm currently growing a mullet mohawk right now. I'm like, you're a great company.
Punk is just like what punk is just the essence of my personality. It's just liking what I like despite everything, or despite what anybody else thinks.
Same.
See, and I think for me what gets frustrating is when people think that like punk is specifically liking things that's not popular. And it's like, no, that's like
you had a better analogy than I did.
Yeah, it's just liking things despite whether or not people say you can. Because it's like, if it is popular and you like it, cool. If it's not popular and you like it, still cool. It's what you like. Just like it. And like Great Escape, like the lyrics are so perfect for that, because it's like, forget yesterday, we'll make the great escape. We don't hear a word they say, we won't listen anyway. And I'm like, yeah. Speaking of metal, I'm going to see, is that a band? In 2 weeks.
I don't know.
I'm really bad about names in general.
The leader of my marketing team's a metalhead, and she goes to shows every weekend.
Like, pop is punk if you like it because you like it, and not because people. Yes. Although I do also accept the fact that there is a genre of music called punk and that it's called that because it fits certain music trends and things. But also, if you like go in there, it's a wild.
I also love pop punk or pop turn punk. Oh,
thank you.
So good. Yeah, no. So it was a super fun conversation with them being like talk about metal bands.
My husband and I also had a conversation about how I don't understand the concept of liking things ironically or unironically. Like this just does not make sense to me. Because basically, from what I gather, if people like things ironically, they don't actually like it. They just like making fun of it or copying it or mocking it. And I'm like, so you just like being a dick about
like,
it.
Yeah, you're just like being an asshole.
Say that. And then it's like, well, and then because of that, though, I feel like some people get defensive and they'll be like, well, I unironically like this thing. And I'm like, so you like it?
I never understood the whole ironic thing.
I think people... Go ahead,
It's
Tina.
not necessarily... When people say they like it unironically, it's not so much a defense as more of like a clarification when I've seen it in context, you know?
Yes, but why would you need to clarify that you unironically like it instead of just saying you like it if you're not preemptively saying that you don't like it ironically, that you genuinely like it? See what I mean?
I have an answer.
That's a lot of words and my brain hurts.
Because my brother is the king of loving things ironically. But when he talks about it, he talks as if he is like the words he says are as if he loves it, but it's said in a sarcastic tone. And I've noticed that online people do the same thing where they'll say, I love this thing, it's so great. But if you read it, you're like,
just say I genuinely instead of unironically. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like it's just
like I genuinely like this thing. Or it's like I actually like this thing. Like for unironically to have become such a misused word that's such a common slang thing, it's got to come from because ironically is misused the way it's used.
I don't.
So look, it's just me. I have a love for like I have a love for language and for the use of language, and it's like, all right, this slang means this thing that is so far different from what the actual word means. Why and how?
So how do we get here?
It comes from I need to understand why and how. Like if people still want to use it that way, it's slang. I'm not about to police your slang. Use your vernacular however you want to use it. Although this is also, if you like anything ironically, it will become a natural part of your vernacular. That's also very true.
It's like when people say I'm antisocial to mean that they don't like interacting with people versus they're introverted. Because antisocial means you're anti-society.
I have the perfect example for liking something genuinely, something ironically, and something unironically. My Little Pony, but I could go on through. But I also enjoy My Little Pony. But I refuse to use the term guilty pleasures because I am guilty of none of my pleasures. They are all things that I enjoy.
Yes.
Going right back to Sam's whole punk attitude. So
rebel so hard, rebel against yourself.
The world needs to be more punk.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
But yeah, it's fine. Like I said, I'm not going to judge. It's just it was a conversation that Chris and I had because of something. He or I saw something on Twitter and we started talking about it. And then less than 24 hours later, like I was talking about Teen Wolf in my server and somebody said that they unironically like Teen Wolf. And I was like, funny you should say it like that.
Oh, funny. Excuse me while I pull out my chalkboard real quick with notes.
Excuse me as my Mila note.
I was going to say, join the call. Here's my presentation. I have slides. I did not prepare this beforehand, by the way.
My theory on why this became a societal slang evolution. Yeah. Is that a cat? No, that's my vacuum. Okay. I thought one of my cats had snuck in the window.
Yeah.
They've done that before.
I don't know why my brain connected the term of slur and then the slang for the antisocial thing.
Is antisocial supposed to mean anti-society? I thought it was more like
Antisocial originally starts to being anti-society.
Huh.
Antisocial.
I was literally about to Google it
I'm just gonna chill.
while we
I don't
Google.
care either way. I was just curious.
I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot. Sam corrects me so many times on the stream.
Antisocial, also antisocial, unsocial, averse to social intercourse. 1797, from antisocial, meaning hostile to social order or norms, is from 1802. Other older words in the declined or to or unsuited for society since included dissocial 1762, dissociable 1600. So no, it originally meant unsocial. Averse to social intercourse. It was, however, it did, however, get used for social to social order or norms in 1802. I assume because they didn't want to use punk yet. No, I'm kidding.
They didn't want to say anarchy.
Yeah, but like, I guess we had dissocial and dissociable to mean that, but then in 1802 they said, "Fuck it, it's all antisocial." So
I'm like half right. I'm not right, but I'm like half right. I'll give myself half points.
Look, I fact check myself. I fact check everybody. Don't take it.
She does all the time. I'll say something and Sam will be like, actually, Google.
I'll use a word and then I'll be like, am I using that correctly? And I Google it. That's like, there was this group that tried to use, like, they made shirts to use a word because they were like, this other group uses this word to mean this, and so like we're doing this to be rebellious or whatever, but like they completely did not understand the actual meaning of the word, and I'm like, you realize you're just making yourselves look really stupid. And somebody tried to defend them and be like, well, do you Google the word, or do you Google every word you think you understand? And I'm like, yes, bitch, don't play me. I'm dyslexic. I Google everything.
Oh my god, I Google so much.
Antisocial was technically a very polite term for psychopath, like, but not according to what I just looked up.
Not according to the Googles.
But
the more you know.
I didn't do a deep dive, so that could also be true. Just as I said, always fact check everyone on the internet, even yourself.
Yeah, no, like I said, literally all the time, I'll say a word. 3 seconds later, Sam will be like, actually, that's not how that word's used. I'm like, what? And then I'll Google the word. It's like, no, you're right, damn. Who knew?
I will not police people's use of words, but I will let you know if you're wrong.
You may not shame you for using the word if you do, but
you may continue using it incorrectly, but I want you to be informed.
My favorite thing, I don't even know if you've noticed that you've done this. My favorite thing is when you correct me on the word Gaibolg.
Gaibolg?
Gaibolg. Yeah. Every time we talk about fate, I say Gaibolg, and you're like Gaibolg.
I was genuinely confused for a second. I was like, I correct you on what word?
Yeah, I say Gaibolg or Gaibolg, and every time I say Guy, you're like Gaibolg. And it's just such an automatic thing. I don't even think you know you do it.
Probably not.
And it's so, because like I do the same thing to other people. So it's like, can't be that mad.
One of my crowning achievements right now is that all of my children enjoy the song The Tale of Cuchulainn.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Celtic rock song that basically chronicles and summarizes the history of the epic hero Cuchulainn from birth to death, and it's so great. And like the chorus, oh fuck, how does the chorus go?
Do you because every time I've heard the word, it's been Cuchulainn, not Cuchulainn. So hold on.
No, it's Cuchulainn.
Okay, maybe I'm. Excuse me while I googs.
It was antisocial, like the social thing is to wear clothes and not punch people in the streets, as an antisocial person would go out naked and punch people, but language is constantly evolving. Yeah.
So
yes, what it said is that the 1806 or 1802 that tracks, but the use of it in 1782 that does not track. So,
according to Google, Cuchulainn is actually called Kachulan.
According to the song with the Irish singers who sing Gaelic in the song, it was Cuchulainn, because he is the hound of Cuchulainn. And Cu is hound.
And then that's what came up. I'm like, that don't seem right. I don't track.
It is a tale of mystery and of might, sang throughout the night.
But I did see that cup. We also
could
have
be
those
wrong.
cups.
I don't know. Say that again.
I saw you were showing off the color change cup, and we also have those cups.
We got them for the kids, but my husband brought it to me.
Those are cute. I've never seen that before.
You get them in a pack of 4 or 5. I'm trying to remember if they're made of recycled plastic or if that's the other cups we get. Like, I attempt to be as environmentally friendly as I can, and then now my children are yelling at me about it. They're like, was throwing away their homework the other day, and they're like, Mom, we need to recycle that. That's from trees. And I'm like, children, we live in a city where recycling is very difficult to do and can cost money. We are poor. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like at my job, like we try to recycle as much as possible. We recycle cardboard boxes, but everything else, like we had a crap ton of batteries. And my boss, like everywhere I go, they're like, they want $50 to recycle these. No.
And I had the disconnect, and even though you said Celtic, I went straight to Cuchulainn, to Mesoamerican deity. Oh wait, no, it's It's Kukulkan. Sorry, I said it wrong. You spelled it right. Right, yeah, Kukulkan.
Kukulkan? Yeah.
Kukulkan. It's like, oh god, I know who it is.
Bum, bum.
It's a person. Look it up. This is the way to spell it.
I'm literally.
They're both a god and a mythic hero. Which the Black Panther trailer brought them up, and my husband was like super about it.
It's Cuchulainn. He is a serpent. The plumed serpent, but it's not Quetzalcoatl.
Yes.
I was also talking...
like Quetzalcoatl, which is the Aztec. I think like Quetzalcoatl is the Aztec version, and Kukulkan is the Mayan.
Amazing serpent, Mesoamerican serpent.
Let me tell you, I am far more versed in all of the Aztec stuff, but my husband and children are of Mayan ancestry, and that has fucked me over now. Because now I gotta relearn things. The other version.
Yeah, I was talking to my one of my coworkers today about pronunciations. Because there's a city in my state. It is spelled Whyindote. WHYINDOTE. I always pronounce it Wyandotte. So it's like wine dot. And she pronounced it Wyandotte. And we like for like a good 5 minutes we had a conversation about it's like, oh.
I attempt to figure out what like region-ish a word is from, and then based on the phonetics of my understanding of the phonetics of that background.
Yeah, but so it's like I would call Wyandotte all my life, and she's like Wyandotte. I'm like Wyandotte, and she's like what?
I am familiar with very broad strokes of many, many gods and deities because I played a lot of Smite.
Oh my god, same.
So same for the first half, but not the second. It was my obsession.
I played a lot of Smite.
Just a great mythology nerd.
Yes, mythology nerd.
And also, if you look up Cuchulainn, the first image that's like this super cool painted thing is from Smite.
I live in New England, and my favorite thing is hearing people pronounce Worcestershire.
Worcestershire?
Yeah,
Worcestershire.
I love when people are like, Worcestershire, sure. I'm like, sir, you take the 5 seconds to learn the word, please. What I heard someone call it Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire.
There was like
my favorite thing is when they call it where's your sister sauce.
Yeah, that's what it is. Where's your sister sauce?
Where's your sister sauce? Yeah. But one of my best friends in high school's last name was Worcestershire.
As Worcestershire.
I need the Worcestershire sauce.
The one word I can never remember to say is Massachusetts.
Let me tell you, Chris and I were watching the Great British Bake Off, and it was Mexican week.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm
So,
so
like,
excited. I need to watch that episode.
I could forgive the mispronouncing of taco. They called it taco, but I'm like, that's an accent thing. So
Yeah.
like, I can forgive that, right? If
Yeah,
you say
yeah.
tat instead of ta, I get that. But then like, they called Pico de Gallo,
Oh.
and Pico de Gallo. And I was like, excuse.
In this course, before we start the timer real quick, in this course I'm on, this guy's British, and in the 3D software there's a Z coordinate, and he's like, this is Z. I say Z because I'm British. And I'm like, I appreciate that, sir.
Is it Pico or Pico? And not Pico. And that could, like, depending on
Pico de Gallo.
I think that's more my accent, baby.
But yeah, it's just, there's sometimes for some people, I'm like, you can take the 5 seconds to learn how to say that word. It's okay.
Well, see, like, if it's Pico, I can do the O really easy. But if it's Pico, I'm gonna go back to the sound because I'm Southern.
Pico.
So, which I also I have a firm belief that there is a difference between your accent making it hard to say something, because like the languages we learn growing up for like change the way our vocal cords, their muscles are shaped. So there's just some sounds or some sound like groupings that people are just never going to be able to physically do after a certain age, and just not trying.
Yeah.
Like
when you call it, where's your sister show? She's like, you're not trying.
Okay, Pico de Gallo. I can.
Yeah, I was talking to a customer today from Connecticut, from somewhere super south, and we sell coils, and he called it coil. It was it wasn't coil. It was coal. It was like oil with a like. It was like coal. I'm like, it's like an I somewhere in there.
It's like the pecans versus pecans argument. I'm like, it really depends on what I'm talking about. Like, it's pecan pie. Everything else is pecans.
Pecan. I love how every time we talk about accents.
Bagel.
Bagel.
I love how bagel sounds, though. I've never heard that, but I love it.
Fun.
Oh, you never heard of bagel?
Really?
It's I think it's a Wisconsin thing. Bagel.
Yeah. This could also be it. So, like, when we were watching Picadillo. Yeah, Picadillo. So I had confused Pico de Gallo with Picadillo, like, because the first half of the word is the same and they end in the same sound, and I'm dyslexic. So they're starting to make Pico de Gallo, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, babe, that's not Pico de Gallo. And he looks at me and he's like, yes, that is. And I'm like, but when we make it, and I'm like, oh, wait, no, I'm thinking of a completely different thing. He's like, were you thinking of Picadillo? And I'm like, yes, I was.
I was gonna say, you just witnessed me in real time figuring out how to say that word.
Talk to anyone from Connecticut. We don't know what syllables are, which is emphasized when we say we're from Connecticut. Connecticut. Okay, but have you ever heard someone say pickins for pecans? No, but I don't know many people from the Northeast.
My favorite is when someone says Tivy instead of TV. Tivy.
I'm trying to think of
Tivy instead of what?
The TV.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know.
I can't think of any other good ones. But,
caramel.
Yeah.
Caramel.
Yeah.
I like to confuse people with that one. So we like, do you say it caramel or caramel? And I'm like, Carmel. And they're like, wait. That was neither.
I love to do this thing where someone like, because sometimes I just say things wrong. I did it like twice as a teen. Now I can't stop doing it. But like, if someone corrects me on my pronunciation of a word, I will never say it right in front of them again. If they're rude about it.
What region is Connecticut?
Like, I had someone correct, like, I was saying a word.
It's not caramel now. It's just caramel.
Caramel. Yeah, it was just like, I will never say this word accurate in front of you ever again. and I never have, and they get pissed every time. Like, cool, don't be a douche when you correct how I
Chris
pronounce words.
likes to say things and names wrong so much that sometimes he fucks himself up and becomes unable to say it correctly.
Me, literally
I do
me,
that too.
all the time.
Okay, look.
I call it Chipotle as a joke.
Chipotle. Or like, I'll think of like a cute nickname for it, and then I can never call it its normal name again. Like for restaurants.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I always
Yeah.
call McDonald's McFleas.
Oh,
What do you
Mid-Northwest.
call
McFleas.
McFleece?
So,
McFleas.
like which Mid-Northwest state? I only ask because like my family is from Michigan, and I know a lot of Ohioans.
And I'm a
like,
Michigander.
None of them say it Peckins. So
Peckins? I've never heard Peckins.
So I'm very curious as to which state. I mean, the like west and the north. It's huge. So I'm just trying to narrow it down.
Or water.
Too much about
Or washer. You got the washer and the washing machine. Gotta wash my hands.
So we decided to get a smart washer and dryer, and you can name them. And I was on a migraine high, so I named them Washa and Drya. My phone. Like, wash is done washing, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, dry is done, and I'm like, yeah. My app is southern.
We have my boss brought a little iRobot to work to like at night just vacuum up.
Okay.
And I'm like, he needs a name, and I named him Flint.
Which I do hope. Like you probably do, but with my brain fog comes mild anxiety. So I do hope that you know I'm just asking these questions because I love knowledge and knowing things, and I'm curious. I'm as curious as a kitten.
And tons of knowledge.
So I hope I'm not making you feel interrogative or like I don't believe you. I'm just really curious and I want to know. So
I'm just nosy. Anywho.
I was trying to think of a raccoon pun with curious because I said curious as a kitten, but
nope, just trash pandas, little trash cubs.
I know.
Little cutie patooties. God, I love raccoons. They're so fucking cute.
Yeah. They're so
possums.
common here. I've actually heard a stat that apparently in my city is the smartest raccoons because they keep figuring out the garbage locks. So like ours now are like a twist lock. That's on the front. It's like a whole thing now.
Give them a few weeks; they'll learn that too.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
so Mid-South, Louisiana, and Eastern Texas. I cannot say that I have ever heard. I have family in Louisiana, and I can't say that I've ever heard anybody say Peckins, but I could imagine somebody from Louisiana saying Peckins. So
I could also do that too.
I am possibly just not saying it with a heavy enough accent.
I also just like accents because I have echolalia, so I imitate accents incredibly easily.
So, Cody, about that, I was watching this ADH guy, right? And he was talking about anerotypicals, not neurotypicals, the opposite. And he was doing a skit, right? And it was him and then British him. And British him was like, why are you mocking my accent? And he's like, I'm not mocking your accent. And he's like, why? And he's like, you don't even realize you're doing it, do you? And he's like, no. And he like keeps trying to not do it.
Don't call me out like this.
He's like, are you aneurotypical? And he goes, yeah, how did you know? And he's like, because it's a thing that people who are aneurotypical do to like subconsciously try to mask and to belong is they imitate the accents around them. And I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then he's like, and if nobody around you has an accent that's like really different from your own accent, then you start doing different ones like you're going through a catalog. And I was like, excuse you. I did not need to be called out like that.
I don't need to be called out. I don't need to be called. No. Okay, hold on. I have to think.
This entire time, I thought I did that because when I was a child, I wanted to be a voice actor. And so I would practice different accents and everything from the TV and people around me. And so I thought that just as an adult, that made my normal accent an amalgamation. But no, turns out I just made my catalog really big.
Because like, I will do this thing. I had a teacher who was from Britain, and by the time she made it to my name in roll call, she said nothing else but roll call. I was already thinking and speaking in a British accent. And afterwards, I had to go up to her and be like, I am so sorry. She's like, it's fine. It happens all the time. I don't think you're doing it mockingly, unlike other people. who were actively mocking her accent.
Yeah.
They're like, "Why do you talk funny?"
Yeah, it's
she's like, "I don't."
I feel like I don't try to stop myself unless I'm consciously thinking about the fact that I do it. But otherwise, I don't really try to stop myself because I feel like with all of the friends I've had in like Europe and stuff through voice chats, people can tell when other people are mocking them versus when you're just echoing because it's a thing.
Yeah, because like I had a friend who visited America from England, and I did it accidentally. He's like, "You have a really that's really good." Most Americans are trash.
I get stuck in it, like after watching a TV show, I'll get stuck in it, and Chris will be like, "Why do you sound like that?" And I'm like, "I just binged 6 hours. I'm sorry."
Bridgerton was the worst. It would happen all the time.
I never do British.
I just like absorb my dad's accent. Like if I stay at my dad's for more than a couple days, I just end up with his accent. Like
that's how I started saying Mylano because I've heard Sam say it so many times. But like,
I don't even know what it really is anymore.
Me either. We argued about it, and I just Mylano.
I used to say Milo, but I say Mila now. So
because like I used to do retail, and for some reason Southern is like my default.
Hold on. I would believe the raccoons in Toronto are incredibly smart because raccoons are very resourceful.
They are.
I feel so validated from the accent thing. I fall into a sort of Southern drawl so often because I work customer service, and it tends to make me seem really friendly.
I cannot tell you how many times this accent has slipped out while helping people just casually. And now I'm thinking, fuck, I have to stay like this the entire time they're in here. Because now I can't switch. Not like I can go back to my normal accent. And then I went out to a deli to order food. And this woman is staring at me like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Here? Michigan?" And then she's like, oh, she felt so terrible because one of the people was from Texas. And apparently my accent's very Texan. Like, just general Southern. I don't know. So
I love when people not from the South try to place fake Southern accents.
Yeah. And then she's like, "I am so sorry. We had this person from Texas and you sounded just like him." I'm like, "Really? That's weird." I listen to Texans talk and that's not like this, but okay. Yeah, I can do British, Southern, and Russian. Okay. But my Russian is specifically red from Orange is the New Black.
Come over here and I'll turn the camera off and then you can turn the AC off.
So it's specifically red from Orange is the New Black. So it's not, I don't even know if it's like a real good Russian accent.
It's off.
We can't see you, Chris. Oh my God. I know you can't hear me, but
if you want your cat, take your cat.
Or like I'll be with food. Food is another time that the accent comes out. They'll be like, "Oh, hi, how can I be like, hi, can I please get a number 3 with a large fry and a Dr. Pepper, please?" And
sorry, you were like, "Hi, can I please get fuck?" And I was, and it's a really common phrase around here to be like, "Oh yeah, can I please get fucked?" Like when you're having a bad day, or just to tell somebody to get fucked. So I was like,
well, it's just because like to me, it's like I have the accent out. It's like, oh no, I realized too late. It just slips out. And like, because the part of Michigan where I live, there is a lot of, I don't say Southern implants, but there's a lot of like people who have Southern-ish accents. So it's enough to like trigger it out sometimes.
I think it's country. There's there's actually there's like a cultural thing with like country versus Southern, and like it's like not
country,
not in a hierarchy thing, but like farmers, no matter, it's actually pretty fascinating. Farmers, no matter what country they're in, all tend to like start talking in like different, like if you look across cultures, country folk have shortened their language in almost the same way, which is like why in anime dubs, anybody from Kansai, which is like the country countryish area of Japan, they always like have a Southern accent because that's the easiest way to translate that across country. And it's just really fascinating. So yeah, there's like a lot of people in the north who work out in like the rural areas or stuff that will sound more Southern, but they're really sounding like country.
Yeah, I guess it would be more of a country accent, because we do have this, like I live in a city, but around us is all rural. Like it's not.
My grandfather grew up in Michigan, and he sounds like super country because he grew up on a farm.
Yeah, like there's a lot of farmland around here. There's so many farms, and there it goes again. And then like literally like 3 streets that way is just all country.
All right. So we should.
Anywho, this timer's been up for like 20 minutes.
Well, my husband came in and distracted me.
And we talked about accents, which is one of my favorite topics because they're so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to count us down?
I can do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
I had one more sentence to listen to in chapter 6. So I was like, no, I will finish the chapter.
How funny also timing. My lesson also just ended like 7 seconds before the time. I'm like, oh, let me come back. Shit.
Yes, my love. Yes, you may watch another movie.
I like really had to go to the bathroom when we were like a minute and 30 seconds, so I like sprinted. I had the quickest pee in my life.
God, I know that feeling.
That's fair. I am now on page like 33 of 166, so
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I did 2 modules, and I've so far made a low poly lighthouse too.
See, Fox was like, are you sure you're going to be able to finish the manuscript this year? And like at early September, I'm like, yeah, I'm not really doing anything else in September, so I can just read it. I then joined the Nostalgia Readathon. So, but it's okay because I can read that. I like just did quite a few chapters in just our little sprints, so I can definitely finish it.
Oh,
My ambitious goal is to finish reading this manuscript before the Dubba Dubba starts, and then use the Dubba Dubba to write my outline and begin my draft for my Shifter Pit Fighter story.
And your ambitious goal?
No, that's just my ambitious. Ambitious is to have my outline done before the Writeathon. But we'll see.
I also made a playlist because I was inspired and I put all my punk songs in it, and I named it "Fuck Your Opinions."
How did you do, Tina?
I finished that page that I was storyboarding, and I did 2 character designs that I have been struggling with for literal months. So Raymond was going to have a bunch of stuff sent to him because I'm also behind on sending him some other stuff too. So he's just going to get a flood.
Got all of his work for the next writing.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I have questions to send him too. It's like he's just going to get an avalanche of things.
Next
Isn't
week
it nice?
Not a writing sprint, at least not on my channel, but other people do, like Jess does writing sprints. There's also the Troublemakers do them Friday mornings. Lots of other people. I don't know because I'm normally asleep during these hours, or not these hours, but their hours. Also, the Dubba Dubba Dubba. That's like a whole weekend. Look, she's stocking up on your work for the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, can I get some fuck with a side of say goodbye in the morning?
I mean, yes, nicely. So why not?
So that's your other kinetic kick fun fact. We try to sell ourselves as refined, well-to-do, fast-talking city folks, but we're a huge bundle of what we describe as northern rednecks. I mean, that's fair. I often find it fascinating how many regions outside of the South try to aggressively sell themselves as Southern or very Southern, but then also like nobody actually wants to be associated with the South. So I'm like,
my new coworker, she's from the South, and I did not know until I picked. She said a word, and I was like, and in my head I was like, I know that word. She said it with a Southern accent, and then so I was like, do you mind if I ask you an interesting question? She's like, sure. I said, are you from the South? She said, how did you know? Like, aha.
Cody.
What?
The South is huge. Which state?
God, I don't know. I have to ask her. I didn't ask her specifics.
What word was it?
She was talking about something. It was a while ago. I don't remember these things.
I need details.
I will get details later. But it was just like one of those things where I was like, wait a minute.
I knew her well. 206 words done. Plus I got up for a stretch, went to the bathroom and got my teeth brushed and added a couple characters to my character spreadsheet. Aw, yeah. Yes. That's awesome. 500 words. Woohoo! I did pre-cal homework, a test, and started working on a 10K word writing challenge I'm doing on Facebook this stream. So it was semi-productive. What's the 10K word writing challenge? If you don't
That
mind
sounds
me
very productive.
I'm curious.
That does sound very productive, and I'm also trying to remember what this word was. But then she's like, I try my best to not sound like I'm from the South because everyone assumes I'm stupid or dumb when I'm not.
We're literally in school, we are taught to use what is considered the standard American accent so that when we leave the South, nobody knows we are from the South because when we leave the South, people do treat us as lesser.
Yep. And so she's like, I try really hard, but when I get really excited or really frustrated, it comes right out. And it's so funny because I can always tell, like, she'll say something, I'm like, you're frustrated, aren't you? She's like, how do you know? You're still an accent's coming through.
The secret, Connecticut is more rural than anything, a lot of suburbs, but it's the sort of thing that most people who travel outside of Connecticut that you hear about are fabulously rich Wall Street types. I can genuinely say I don't think I know anything about Connecticut, so this is all just fascinating to me.
Yeah, I know nothing.
It's one of the few states I know absolutely nothing about.
One of many states I know nothing about.
Congrats. Excellent work, Savion and RP. Yeah.
What is
the
this challenge?
10K word challenge, 10 days to a dazzling novel opening. So does that mean that it's like you write 1,000
words a day?
1,000 words for 10 days equals 10,000? Yes.
I'm Googling.
I'm confident in that math.
I was also confident.
Like,
the math is mathing.
You could see where my confidence wavered, and then I was like, no, I'm good.
And then I picked up where it wavered. I was like, yeah, that doesn't make sense.
So
Google doesn't have it. I can't find it.
It's a Facebook challenge.
Oh wait,
yeah,
I missed a couple zeros. That's why.
Well, that would.
Yeah, that would probably do it.
Either that or their CEO is like terrible.
Which the SEO?
Yes.
You said CEO.
I realized.
And that's where my brain is. If you notice, I agreed, and it was like, wait a minute.
Well, no, I think I said CEO.
You said CEO.
Oh, well.
And then I agreed with you. Then my brain kicked in.
It's because it's pronounced CO, and so
SEO.
Yeah.
It was real funny though. It's like, yeah, I agree.
The other Connecticut trivia, Tina thought I was from New York, and that Connecticut was just part of New York, which is unfortunately a fairly solid synopsis.
Is that not true?
Fair. It's not. No, it's its own state.
Oh yeah, it's one of those little itty bitty ones in the area of New York, isn't it?
I don't.
Because there's a bunch of little ones that are like the size of like a city here that like are their own state, like Albany and whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? My Canadian ass doesn't understand. We only have like what's it? It's like 12 provinces and 2 territories. Don't quote me on that. That's probably not accurate. But like they're mostly huge, and then there's like a couple of islands. Like
I don't know why that just reminded me.
Like our small state is still the size of a country, so I'm like.
I don't know why just from them saying New York reminded me. I do have what I like to affectionately call an old Jewish woman accent. And the reason why I say that is because my family's Jewish.
Okay, I kind of do see why Tina says that. Is
Albany not a state?
No, Albany is not a state. I thought you were talking about a Canadian territory.
Right.
I also was thinking that too.
No, there's
okay.
Like, so I think what you're thinking of is I think you have just blocked New York as from New York all the way to Maine, and that is just all New York to you?
Yeah.
See, that's what I understood it as.
Looking at this map, but no, there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 states between New York and Maine.
Yeah, I'm looking at the map now. Yeah,
they are our teeniest states, but they are still states in their own right. Rhode Island is our
teeny tiniest,
our baby child,
our baby state.
I was feeling slightly gaslit. I was like, I need to figure out. I don't remember what my country looks like anymore.
I wasn't trying to
geography.
I was like, what the heck is this? But, but yeah, no, our smallest.
They're like, they're the size of cities, and I'm like.
Well, yeah, because our smallest state is the size of Maine. Like, our smallest province is the size of Maine. So I'm like, what is all these teeny tiny little nonsenses between New York and Maine?
Tiny
Those
little
are the size of, like, cities. It's nonsense. Why
They
is
wanted
New
to feel
Jersey separate?
special, Tina.
Nonsense.
They wanted to feel special.
Or Massachusetts and its deeply rich occult history, and Tina's just like, you're nonsense.
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 Yeah,
One
you
of our
nonsense.
most well-known states, but
Meanwhile, our territories is like, you take the entire Arctic islands, you cut them in half. One side goes to one territory, the other side to the other.
It's because like those were the original colonies and territories, and then as they took over more and more, they were like, fuck it, and just made them huge. They're like, we give up.
Yeah, see, there's a lot less labels in the Canadian map. It's just like, you got like 13.
Although apparently Ramu says that it is a fair synopsis that Connecticut is just New York's foot. That's the general idea. Yeah, it's a Facebook group set up by an author named Mary Atkins. Oh, that sounds interesting. Fascinating.
The Atkins diet?
Oh.
That's the only thing I think of. Sorry.
It's fine.
I couldn't stop that intrusive thought.
Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. I don't know if you were purposely saying Rhode Island or Rhode Island.
I was literally like,
did you mean amalgamated into one state, but we would break into immediate civil war if we had to be related. That's fair. Albany is a city.
I need that name.
You had to join before the start date today to get into the private group chat, and she's doing like 30, 60-minute lessons. Oh, that sounds interesting. It's really fun when you look at it, because as we travel west across the U.S., you kind of see the evolution of travel. Yeah. Yeah, because the railroads, I think.
My favorite fun fact.
Hold on. Double bonus trivia. The Connecticut Quinnipiac River Valley accent is allegedly the most historically accurate, and we have Dudleytown, the most haunted place on earth.
It's
fair. I will one day remember which southern state has the most true to English evolution British accent.
Not me not knowing how many provinces and territories my own country has.
Kelly's like Tina. Kelly's like Tina. Don't try to learn the American map. You have to
learn your own first.
Don't even remember the Canadian one. I never said I was good at geography.
Like, it used to be a deadly trip to go from Connecticut to... Which one's Emmy? Minnesota? Is it Minnesota?
Googling.
Quinnipiac. Ah, yes, thank you.
Maine, actually.
That would make
Minnesota
sense.
would be MN.
So, what's fun fact? My grandmother on my dad's side, my grandparents on my dad's side used to live in Maine, and so as opposed to calling her grandma her actual name, she was Grandma Maine. And to this day, that is what I call her, even though now they have lived in Florida for like a decade.
I was gonna say,
that was my grandparents in Maine. So,
a fun fact about Michigan is you can always tell when you're leaving the state because the roads get incredibly better.
It's the opposite for Tennessee. You know, you leave us when the roads go to shit.
Oh my God. When the road, because I went to go visit my brother in Indiana, and I could tell when I hit the state line before my GPS did.
That's fair.
And it was just like, and then I could tell when I re-entered the state because it was like patunk, like my first pothole. I'm back in the state.
See,
welcome to Michigan. God,
nobody will ever be able to find me IP address wise because I'm so close to the Kentucky state line. Sometimes in my own house, sometimes it's like, yeah, Sam's in Kentucky, and other times it's like, nah, she's in Tennessee, and I'm like, you will never know.
I use a VPN, so you'll really never find me.
We're looking into getting one, but like, there's a lot of sketchy stuff with the VPN companies, so Chris is trying to find the best one.
If you'd like, I can point you towards one that my friend who is high-end in IT tech uses.
Can't point me to anything because I am not handling it.
I will point Chris towards it.
You can ask him if he would like that because he is a see it himself and believe it individual. Biggie. Because I started telling him what I figured out about it, and I saw his eyes glaze over, and I'm like, okay, so you'll look into it.
Okay, so never mind. It'll probably be better for both of us if we just... Nah, it's fine.
Yeah, with some of our states, some people who didn't agree with the rest, so they made their own, like West Virginia, and I think Rhode Island as well is one of the states like that. Yeah, when the states were like, fuck you, no fuck you. Well, we're West and regular now. North
Virginia
and
and West
South.
Virginia.
It's like how Quebec wants to become its own country, but no one wants Quebec to leave.
So fun fact about California trying to leave us. California has tried to leave the US since like the 1960s or 70s. And they take a survey for it like annually, and less people are voting to leave.
Texas wants to leave.
If you
That's what's
look at
happening
the
in Quebec,
survey,
yeah.
because they're like, nope. Which is like the people who want to leave are really, really vocal. So I thought it was the majority, but no, it's slowly going down. And I'm like, oh, well then, I'm sorry.
Yeah, as far as I know,
Texas wants
Texas
to-
wants to leave again.
Yeah, Texas is back on. We
They
want
can
to be our own country again.
I will not mourn them. Someone from the Northeast moving to Florida. What a surprise! Everyone in the Northeast decides at a certain age to go anywhere between North Carolina and Florida.
I had friends who
the
moved to Florida and then moved back. I'm never going to Florida.
Fun fact, at one time it was faster to sail from St. John, Newfoundland to Boston, Mass. Than to try and travel between two cities by land. Yes.
Yeah. Canada's
And
big.
probably much safer.
Maybe.
Depending on the season.
Yeah. So I said probably.
Depending on the season.
Because them storms. That's like Hurricane Ian was coming in, and I was talking to somebody about migraines, and they're like, oh man, your migraines must be really bad with Hurricane Ian. And my Floridian husband was like, why would that matter? And I'm like, sir, we have lived here 7-8 years, and I have told you every hurricane season is storm season, because though we are landlocked, we have two of the major like great rivers that flow through us. They bring the hurricane to us, like not in full force,
but they literally trails up the river.
It's like really shitty for us, which I want it clear. I'm not saying it's worse than it is for the people who get directly hit by the hurricane. It's just different. Because we're in Tornado Alley. So, like, what we get is the cool northern winds and then the tropical hurricane winds. And then we got tornadoes.
Tornadoes! I love that.
Tornadoes. And then,
I'm gonna
like,
start using that.
But it's really fun to, like, see the memes and stuff. Because I tell my friends and stuff, I'm like, oh, yeah, there's, like, tornado. I can never remember if watch or warning is worse. But we got one of them. It's like, yeah, there might be tornadoes. They're talking about, like, they're keeping an eye on it. And then they're like, oh my gosh, are you guys going to be okay? Like, are you going to go in the storm cellar? I'm like, I don't own a storm cellar. That's like, no, we're fine. There was like one time when a tornado was touching down, and I'm like, I'm debating waking the kids up and going to the garage or just letting them sleep. And like, my sister's like, yeah, you should probably let them sleep for a while. It's like over in this area. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's not near me. So like we're just keeping an eye on it. It's like it'll die down before it could get. Well, it's like how fast is it going? Okay, yeah, it'll die down before. We're like mini tornado path experts. Like we know. So it's like meh.
That's kind of how it is here.
Kids up for this
since we're a peninsula, we can still get like occasional like tornadoes or hurricanes.
We do not.
The Great Lakes.
Yep.
It's the same in Connecticut. It's like Florida got hit by hurricanes. Set your watch. It's gonna rain in 36 hours. Exactly.
Oh, I can always tell the weather it's gonna be tomorrow based on what Chicago is today.
See, if you pay attention to your climate neighbors, you will always know.
If it rains in Chicago today, I'll know it'll rain tomorrow.
It is more reliable than the Weather Channel.
It
more
really
reliable
is.
Than the Weather
I always look up what's the weather in like, of course, the temperature difference is different, but when it comes to like the overcast, it's like it's pretty accurate.
I will like, yeah, this is just like just pay attention to other. I had a friend who every time it stormed here, they were like, damn it, Sam! And I'm like, what? And they're like, is your storm going from the north or from the south? And I'm like, bitch, did it rain where you are yesterday? And she's like, it's coming to me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or she'd be like, you're gonna get storms. And I'm like, I didn't want these.
No,
So
thank you.
It's like, because of where our cities
Saw your
were,
comment,
no
Linda.
matter what, one of us was going to get the storm and then the other one was going to get it the next day. And it's like, I don't like you today. Well, I'm sorry for warning you. Should I have just let you be surprised? I know the weather because I stick my head outside and sniff the air twice. Yes, but that's the weather now. Or like, I'm actually really proud that my children are starting to pick up on this. Like, we'll pick them up from school and then go to the grocery store or something. And my children will be like, Mom, it smells like a storm. And I'm like, I'm so proud of you. You can smell it in the air. And ever since my middle child, like, they had a science class learning about clouds. He's been obsessed with clouds. And so he'll be like, Mom, that's a cumulus. And I'm like, cool. And he's like, it's probably not going to storm today because it's not and I don't remember the cloud names, but it's not the like dark gray ones. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. But then other days he'd be like, oh man, Mom, the insert science name cloud is looking really dark. It's probably getting really heavy with water. It's going to rain. And I'm like, yeah, my head told me that. We have different methods.
You saw it with your eyes. I felt it with my face.
No, I'll predict the 12 hours from now whether I'm a magical mom. I just need my nose and a breeze. I just wake up and can tell you if it's going to storm.
Yeah.
because
I
feel like we're tying it back around to Mean Girls here, too.
Always need a good tie-in.
Wait, explain the tie-in. Because my head just hurts, so I can't think.
Yes, there's... I can't remember the exact line, but the same one who says, I'm a master, I can't remember her name. In the very,
she's
her
like,
last
I'm
scene.
psychic.
Is when she's like,
yeah,
she has the umbrella, and she's like, I think it's going to rain, and she's using her boobs as
her boobs can tell whether it's going to rain or not.
Yeah.
So,
and I also want to point out
about
my headband has little googly-eyed bats.
Earlier, I meant to comment on that, and I was like, at first, when you came back, at first I thought they were bear ears, and then you turned a certain way, and I realized they were spiders.
They're actually little bats, and I do have ones.
Secrets, yes.
I do have ones that are cats. Wait, there we go. With very silly whiskers. I don't know if you can see, but they're like just a line. Yes, I was like, I have to point it out before the stream's over. Little googly-eyed bats.
Boo, you whore.
I love them. Boo, you whore. So a fun fact about like people with chronic illness or injuries or like certain kinds of body wear, the reason that it's so stereotyped that like, oh, my such and such is aching, like, and you know that a storm is coming or shifting weather, is because when weather shifts like that, it like changes the atmospheric pressure and the humidity levels and everything, and that makes certain types of tissue in your body swell. And so that it's actually like a scientific biological thing that once part of you is permanently broken, you can then predict the weather.
My brother broke his arm and his leg. He could always tell. He's like, it's gonna storm. I'm like, how? He's like, my arm hurts.
Yes, barometric pressure. Let me tell you, I feel the barometric pressure.
There is a
there are TikTokers. A headache when the temperature drops too quickly. It'll affect me.
Because my sister has fibromyalgia, and so when like my head's feeling particularly bad, I'll text her. I'm like, "How are your legs today?" And depending on how her legs are, I'm like, "We're getting a storm," and she's like, "Yeah, Grandma's back's been hurting too," and I'm like, "Mm-hmm."
Oh my god! When my back hurts, if it's really bad, I'm like, it's gonna storm today, and everyone's like, "How do you know?" I'm like, my back hurts.
Yes, it's a weird. Well, not weird. Like I said, there's a very
scientific, but
interesting scientific. But I like to just be like, yes, this is the exchange. This is
have chronic illness, but predict the weather. Specifically,
Once part of
storm.
you is permanently broken. Ah, yes, that's why I can tell the weather by smell, because that's directly associated. That's different, though. That's
But if you
environmental
broke your
conditioning.
nose,
No, see, that's environmental conditioning, because you grow up and you pay attention to the smells around you, so you know what your area smells like with like pre-storm humidity and post-storm humidity, which is why it can be taught.
I love
I
a
cannot
good...
teach you to get a pressure migraine before a storm.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to learn that one. It's not fun. I just end up very moody the entire time.
Oh, I am the worst whenever I'm sick or feel any type of ill. I had COVID for like, I had the symptoms for like 3 days. I was like, no one talked to me. No one touched me. I'm dying. God. I wasn't that dramatic, but I was very much like, I don't talk to no one. Fuck this shit. I'm so sick.
I just give no fucks. Like, I kept sitting out on the balcony when I had COVID because my symptoms lasted for about a week, and I found that the fresh air helped the most. So I was sitting out there, and I kept being very sassy to my neighbors because they kept trying to talk to me when I didn't want to be talked to.
Yeah, no, I was just I'm the worst.
I turned to them and was like, anything I say right now, don't hold me to it.
When I don't feel good, I become the opposite. I become very dramatic and I give all the fucks because I'm like, oh, I'm dying. It's the worst together. Everybody hates me. Nobody loves me. My husband has rolled away from me in his sleep.
He touched his butt with my butt. He does not love me.
I'm like, my dog was cuddling with my husband. They don't need me anymore. My children will like come in and they'll be like, we love you, Mom. And I'm like, oh, and then they leave me and I'm like, they stopped loving me the moment they walked out the door. They loved me for 5 minutes. And it's like, I am only 90% exaggerating. Like,
yeah, no,
I don't feel good. So I feel like a burden.
Oh no, yeah. I am. When I was in my car accident, I couldn't move my legs without excruciating pain for like a week. And like my roommate's like, do you want me to go get your medicine? I'm like, please. I'm so sorry. I can't move. He's like, I understand. I got you from the hospital. Like, it's cool. I'll go get them for you.
My oldest is I have such mixed feelings about this, but my oldest is now so like in tune and to my chronic illness that if I am not up by a certain time, he will just bring me my headache medicine and a drink and wake me up a little bit and be like, Mom, are you okay? Would you like your medicine? And I'm like, no, I was just up until 7 a.m. today, but thank you.
I appreciate your concern. No, I did this to myself.
My dad does that with my period. He'll like hear me talking. He'll just turn to me and be like, I'm making lentil soup. Because he has a lot of iron.
My dad was awesome because like he grew up in a household with like 2 sisters and his mom. So, and then he like lived with my mom, and my grandfather was on the road most of the time. So in the house, it was my dad, my mom, my grandma, me, and my 2 sisters. And we sunk up a lot. So he would just like, I don't know, he just sensed it when he would walk home, and then he would leave and come back with just piles of chocolate, and like he knew what each of us used as far as like hygiene products, and so he would make sure that we each had a brand new package just for us, and he'd be like, does anybody need a heating pad? Need me to warm anything up for you? And like, and then he would just like go in his room, and it's so great too because like my dad has a very gruff looking exterior, like you think leather jacket, biker. My mom used to be concerned. He used to be a prison guard, and my mom was concerned that like they'd mistake him for one of the convicts and not let him back out.
Not let him leave.
Like, this is a genuine fear she had. So, but like he is the sweetest when it came to doing stuff like that. So I get sick and I get dramatic, but also I'll just be a corpse. I think I almost died of dehydration during my 3 days of bad COVID symptoms because I didn't have the energy to drink water. I feel this.
I lost so much weight because I was like, I'm not hungry. I can't taste anything, so I lost my sense of taste. I was like, what's the point in eating?
My
I might as
child
well just die
also
here.
my child also knows my extreme need for fluids because when I ask him to bring me a drink, he'll ask me if I want a cup or a 2-liter. He'll just bring me the 2-liter. Like my husband will always just pour me a cup, but my oldest, he's like, "Do you just want the bottle?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Isn't it? I think there was like one stream you're like, child, could you please bring me a tea? And they just brought you the whole gallon.
Yes, that was him.
It was just like, oh, it's like I wanted a cup, but I'll take
So
this.
essentially, he'll bring me a cup and the gallon.
Yeah, that's
Sometimes
what it
he'll
was.
be like, "Do you want ice?"
Yeah, but it's like, bring me tea from the fridge, please. And he just brought you a cup and a full gallon. You're like, I only wanted a cup, but all right, I'll take my shit. Well, not
All
fight.
right. We should go ahead and do outros.
Yes.
Tina.
Oh, I'm in the hot seat.
Yes.
Oh boy. Okay, hold on. I need to
It's
pull
okay,
up my.
It's all right. We can
Aha!
we can stall while we pull
Oh, no,
up
I
our
got it.
music checklist.
I got mine. All right.
All right, well then you're good.
So, hey, once again, I am Tina, aka Cabby. I make queer art and comics of the smoochy and spooky variety, lesbian vampires, deep sea mermaids, plus so much more. You can find me at the link tree below, or you can read all of my stuff for free at, there it is, cabby.com. Ta-da!
Just
really
real quick,
killing it.
Kelly, I just noticed the chat and where you said I think we all need magic boobs. Depends on what these magic boobs do. I'm
That is true.
interested. I know what you're referring to, but I would want magic boobs that do something other than predict the weather. My head.
Yeah. Same. Preferably same.
Also,
I mean,
Reimu, are we like mildly the same person? Because my body temperature also runs low on average. So like
Mine runs high on average.
as does many testosterone enthused people. Enthused was not the word I wanted, but it's the one
I
that
have a
said-
lot of testosterone. Oh my god. Oh my god. Are you sure?
My children have like, because let me tell you, I'll be in sweaters and stuff, and then like, you know, Chris is just in his underwear all the time, and they're like, "Mom, why are you always like cold?" And I'm like,
Me.
"Because mommy doesn't produce heat." And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "I don't produce heat, children. This is why I'm always cold. Your father is a furnace." And so now they'll go to hug me, and they're like, "Mom, you really are cold." And I'm like, "Did you think I was lying to you?"
Yeah, that's
Like-
literally this. Literally, me and my roommate are both the type people. We're both in our underwear all the time, even as it's 40 degrees outside, windows open, and his girlfriend is just bundled, just completely like everything, and she's like, I don't know how you guys
I
can
have low
live
blood
like
pressure.
this.
I have low iron, and I have a lower than normal. Everything is against me.
Yeah.
Right, what do you do your outro?
Hello, hi everybody. I'm a raccoon. Duh. I like to make gay art because straight people have to go for too long. This is my outro. It's cool. Don't worry about it. I'll have a YouTube channel maybe at some point. I don't know. Follow me on social media links down below while we explore life and art and gay shit. Be gay, do crimes.
yeah, be gay, do crimes.
And also, raise your hand if you've been personally victimized by Regina George.
I am Regina George.
Perfect. There we go. That's what I was hoping for.
That was great.
He sets them up, I knock them down.
That's why we work
So
so great together. Anyhow.
I forgot that I wanted to show everybody. So along with the whisker and nose tattoo, it also came with eyebrow tattoos. But I didn't want to figure those out. So
that's like, whew. All right.
That was a lot.
I can do. Okay, hold on though. I have an idea for some other day.
I also never realized when you took your nose off.
It was itchy. I tried to put it on my forehead, but it did not stay.
I noticed none of that. I was like, oh.
So Regina, our entire thing is a reference to Mean Girls.
I think that's actually a quote from the Mean Girls. Like, I think that's actually what happens next. Is someone goes, "Who's the even go here?" The back.
That's my failing.
Yeah,
but
maybe
also
I'm not 100% on that, but I think that's what it is.
No, I think the quote is, "Does she even go here?"
I think that's in reference to the one who is like sobbing that she wants everyone happy rainbows.
Ramo, we
not...
need to know.
Hold
we
on.
need to know,
Have you
are
seen
you
Mean
quoting
Girls?
or are you asking? Because it could be either. And
Like,
Yeah.
my brain
honestly?
is fucked. I don't know. My dark secret. I've never seen Mean Girls. I apparently just bring Mean Girls energy everywhere I go. Okay, so
That is
Okay,
true.
cool. So what's the
Regina
question?
George
Go.
is the predominant
Antagonist.
antagonist of
Yeah.
Mean Girls. So
I will send you the
I
gift.
also love that
Hi.
my
I'm writing Mom Samantha on Nasset. This is my channel where I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer parent things. I host live streams like these on Mondays where we have fun, get some productivity done, and it's just good old time. Or sometimes we talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. Like next week, we will be talking about simulacrums, which are synthetic humans. It's going to be fun. We're going to talk about things from Frankenstein to androids and lots of other stuff.
Wait, Frankenstein the doctor or Frankenstein's monster?
Frankenstein the doctor is not a simulated human. Frankenstein the monster is a simulated human.
Okay.
Also, his name is Adam.
I'll have to tune into that stream then, because I'm my brain. Anywho.
If you would like to read a sample of my writing,
Wow.
you can go to my website, SamanthaNasset.com, where I have a spooky flash fiction Until Pizza Do Us Part, and a short story, a murderous short story, All That Glitters. They are a good time. And if you like them and would like exclusive early access to beta read and just in general read my writing and short stories, you can sign up to my newsletter, which is also at SamanthaLNasset.com. If you liked the stream, you like what we do here, you can click the like button, subscribe, ring-a-ding that bell, and if you would like to tip me and help me, forward to do fun things for the platform, you can do so at my Ko-fi down below.
Give Sam money.
Give Sam money. I was trying to beat you.
Oh, you'll never be able to beat me. Too good. I got faster.
I'm trying to do the banner. All right. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm sorry that you now know Frankenstein's monster's name is Adam. Do with that what you will. And thanks, everybody who watches it on the replay, especially this one, because it was a longer one, because it's just a day where I'm not focused, so I didn't shorten things like normal. But you're all still appreciated, and thank you to my co-hosts for sticking it out. We will all catch you later. Bye!